Hey, everybody. Welcome to the How to Thrive Air Meet. This is exciting. We've already got 1,488 people. We have over 4,000 people registered for this today. Super special. There's a couple of things different. I know you guys have been in part of my Air Meets before, but there's something different about this. Not only do we have Cody Sperber here, amazing, but we also have Dean Graziosi. And not only that, we got something kind of fun. So no matter why you're here, if you're just here to hang out, we've got a little contest going on. I didn't know Air Meet did this. But Air Meet actually lets me pay people for their engagement. Okay, so that we're going to have a first place, a second place, and a third place for how many comments, how many emojis, and how many questions are asked. So I'm not going to tell you all the rules. You just need to be super engaged. We're going to be paying $250 to the first place winner, $150 to the second place, and $100 to the third place. But who cares about the money? I think you probably just want to win. So guys, today we're going to be hanging out for a good amount of time, probably about an hour and a half. Dean Graziosi is actually on vacation, and he asked us what can he do for our two communities. And so we asked him to come in here today for about 40 minutes. So he'll be here in a little bit, but we're going to go through a couple of things with the market, a couple of things that we're doing to change our businesses and shift in this upcoming economic downturn. Actually, the economy is already kind of downturning, bro.
It's happened.
It's happened. So we're going to go through a lot of that stuff. Sperber here has an unbelievable presentation. We're going to go through that here in just a couple of minutes. Everybody in the side chat, tell me where you guys are all at. Where's everybody from? How did you get in here? Did you get in here from an email? Did you get in here from a YouTube video? How did you guys get in here? Let's look in the side chat. Shelly Dodd. Love it. Houston, Texas. Dope. Atlanta. Oh my gosh. I'll be in Atlanta tomorrow. Christian Flores is sub 2 email. Love it. Atlanta, Sacramento, Greensboro, North Carolina. I will be in South Carolina tomorrow speaking. So I hope you're coming out to that event. Francis got here from an email.
So that's really cool. So if you click show, it shows everybody their comments and all that. It like pulls it up on the screen.
Yep. And we can do a little Q&A. Oh, we already got Q&A, dude. Holy crap. Look at all these questions. Are you kidding me?
This, man.
Oh my gosh. This is great.
Let's go.
Okay. Let's start this off with a question, if you don't mind, because this is what's cool about Air Meet.
Yeah.
For a new investor. Okay. Myron says, for a new investor, would you recommend starting with single family homes or multi-family homes? Oh, this is tough because you see people like Grant Cardone talking about, man, if I could start all over, I would start with multifamily. I wouldn't have never gone through single family. I'm like, dude, you started in single family. You did your first 20 deals were single family. It's how you built your momentum. You learned the words, the vernacular. You got the momentum. You made some money, and then you got into multifamily. My personal opinion is that you start with whatever resources you have, and if people are sending you single family opportunities, you jump on that. Now, ironically, I'm actually doing a $3 million multifamily deal with Myron. And I think that's kind of where he's at, where he's like, dude, I was doing single family. I just did a $3 million acquisition. He's actually going to be a part owner on a deal with me. And so he's saying, oh my gosh, now I'm like chasing a shiny object. Should I go after this deal or should I stay on single family? What's your take?
I definitely agree with you. You gotta kind of look at your current resources, and you got to think about what kind of outcome you want. If you're looking to make some quick cash, multifamily probably isn't the fastest path to quick cash. Now, that doesn't mean you can't wholesale multifamily. We do it all the time. But are you going to generate a ridiculous amount of multifamily leads and lock them up and wholesale them and get quick cash? Probably not. And so, I love single family because it teaches you the language of real estate. It forces you to get out there and network with all the power players. I do agree with the idea of like mastering single family, getting some deals under your belt, building your power team, building your network, and then try to push yourself up into the multifamily game as fast as you can, especially if your long-term goal is to retire wealthy, to live life on your own terms. Very difficult to scale really, really big with single family. I'm at scale right now. It is a personnel nightmare. I mean, we have so many softwares and systems and people and things happening because you got to understand just economies of scale. When you're running all over the valley or even in multiple states trying to take care of 60, 80, 100, 200 houses, way different than if you have one apartment building with 60 doors or 100 doors. So, you know, I'm just going to give you some flowers. Is it Myron?
Yeah, Myron.
Myron, man, great job. You know, moving into the multifamily space as fast as he did, and to doing it with the GOAT. And I think you're asking the right question. How much more time do I give back to my single family career? And, you know, I like the multifamily business. I'm like Grant Cardone in a way. I wish I would have got into it sooner, but I wouldn't take 1 second back of my evolution that got me here. And I love the single family business. So
yeah, I love the evolution conversation. I mean, really, you have to evolve. And one thing I said to Myron, he was watching bigger pockets for months and months. And then finally goes, dude, I need to join a community. So he joins our community, and here he is 9 months later, done dozens of deals. Where most of his deals are coming from is actually helping other people close their deals. So shout out Myron and Carolyn. They're doing a great job. But dude, you're not even the same person you were a year ago. That's the cool thing, is that there's an evolution. The goal is, how do you continually move forward and thrive, right? And that's what we're going to talk about today. The main goal and purpose of today is, how do you add multiple streams of income? Real estate is only one of them, guys. I can tell you, I hang out with Sperber from time to time when he lets me. Okay. When Sperber lets me hang out with him, I get to hang out with him. I see all the things he's invested in and where money comes from. You guys should see this guy's freaking monster house he's building in the pecan groves. Holy crap.
I can't with you right now. I can't with you. I had to, it took me at least an hour or two just to get through Pace's house to find where the room we're sitting in. The house is massive. Don't even talk to me. And Pace, everybody wants to know one thing.
What?
Why is your microphone so much bigger than my microphone?
Mine's strong. Mine's sturdier too.
You definitely have a bigger, blacker microphone than me.
It's more solid, that's for sure. It's got more veins and all sorts of things. So guys, today the main goal is to show you guys some additional source of revenue. I sat down and was lucky to become friends with Dean Graziosi because of Cody Sperber. And in that friendship, I asked him, I said, man, it's no doubt that the economy is changing big time, right? And not only is it changing, but the way people are making money, the way people are going to work, they're not going to work, everything has changed dramatically in the last 36 months, almost to the point where it's like, man, do you run? Do you fight? Do you freeze? And I know everybody in here, if you guys showed up, we've got nearly 2,000 live people in here. You guys want to hear exactly what Dean Graziosi told me and told Sperber the other day. We were like, dude, do you mind bringing this up to our communities live? So anyway, we're going to do a bunch of Q&A. I'll let Sperber get into some reporting all about the market here in just a little bit. Let's go back to some Q&A. Oh, this is good. Pace, how are you? Ooh, what a great question. Mark says, no, Al Dominguez says, Pace, how to recession-proof your short-term rentals? This is a great question because you are doing more short-term rentals than I am, aren't you?
I'm big on the short-term rental game right now. Big on the short-term rental game. And you know, that's a great question. And it really, I do that before I even buy it. You know, and hopefully your short-term rental income is significant. You're in a great market for short-term rentals. But I would run my numbers right now as what a long-term rental, furnished long-term rental would pull in. Just so I had some peace of mind. Like, okay, if short-term doesn't work, I'm immediately going to move to long-term furnished rentals. I would make sure that you're putting your, what's the website? What's the website with all the insurance? No, there's a website with all the insurance companies.
Oh, the insurance company. I'll pull that up right now.
Yeah, hold on. I know that website. What is that website? Do you remember it?
No, I don't remember it.
All right, hold on.
But my Airbnb manager's got it. Hold on a second. There's a couple of them. And
yeah, I got it off the top of my head. It's
there's a couple of things you have to do with assured relocation is a really good one. That's for insurance companies. Another one is ALE Solutions.
That's it. ALE Solutions. Thank you.
ALE Solutions.
Make sure you're posting your property up on ALE Solutions and the different websites where insurance companies will do long-term furnished rentals for you. I have about, because here in Arizona, we're cyclical, right? Like in the summer, Airbnbs naturally slow down. And so we immediately co-list all of our properties up on the insurance websites. We push it out on Zillow as a long-term furnished rental. And a lot of times these insurance companies, they'll show up and they will rent it out for 2, 3, 4 months, prepay upfront. And it's a great backup plan instead of doing the daily rentals. And then finally, obviously, it's got to work. Your financing and your deal structure always has to work. Worst case scenario is a standard rental. And if you're kind of buying it right and position yourself to have those multiple kind of cascading strategies, I think you're going to do well.
Yeah, I love the ALE solutions. I love the insurance direction. I love the traveling nurse direction. I love the corporate rental direction. And some people look at those as individual like islands, like, oh, I'm going to do Airbnb or VRBO or this or that. Guys, you should be doing all of it. And that's a great way to recession-proof your property. And there's websites that actually will send out all your stuff. Get somebody that knows how to manage your Airbnbs. You're not managing your Airbnbs. I know you're not.
Me personally?
Yeah.
No.
You have somebody else doing it.
Yeah, of course.
Bryant?
No, we have a team. We have an in-house team of people. Yeah. I wouldn't personally be doing it. It's too much work.
No, dude, I would never touch that. Never touch that. All right, cool. So here we go. Somebody asked a wonderful question. They said, should I? Oh, this one's good. We'll get to this one first. Oh, guys, check this out. Oh my gosh, what a great question. Pace, is it still possible to be a part of Gator Lending? Guys, if you don't know what Gator Lending is, that thing lit up. It lit the world on fire for about 45 days. I closed it out on June 1st. I will not let anybody else access that training except today. Sperber and I are actually going to give away some Gator Lending training access to a few people on this live. So if you guys stick around all the way till Dean Graziosi, I'm going to tell you guys how we're going to give that away. Gator Lending. Oh, who's a Gator lender that's having a good time with Gator Lending? Oh my gosh. I got guys making 20 grand a week, 20 grand a month, 20 grand since they started. There you go. Gator went crazy. A lot of people saying Gator went crazy. Okay, Aaron Lee says, are Airbnbs going to start going downhill in the next 12 to 24 months? Are you seeing anything with
We're going to be talking a lot about the economy, a lot about where things are heading in the next 12 months, 24 months. I think in some markets, sure. Yeah, I think in some markets, you're going to feel it. Other markets, not so much. And that's really one of the things I want to kind of convey when I show you guys the maps, when I show you the data here in a little while. You're going to see that when we talk about the real estate market, the word averages is very dangerous because there's hundreds of submarkets throughout the country. You can't just look at the whole thing as one big picture. And so people's behaviors are going to change. Recessionary, you guys, I've been in this business for a long time. I rode through the 2008 downturn. I made tens of millions of dollars during the downturn. There are strategies that work really well, and there are other strategies that stop working. And so people's behaviors, their spending behaviors, their travel behaviors, everything's going to change when we go into a full-blown hardcore recession, which is coming. But right now, Americans have great spending power. We still have, at least 8 to 12 months of pretty good spending power. So I don't think we're going to feel it right now, but it's coming. And I'll show you why and where.
A lot of people getting excited about the Gator training giveaway. I didn't know that was going to create such a feeding frenzy, dude. Look at all these people like, give me the Gator. Who would be excited to get access to Gator training for free? It's a small community. I closed it on June 1st and people reach out to us all the time. Hey, how do I get in? I'm like, you can't. A lot of me's. Okay. So we're going to give away a bunch of the Gator training at the end of this. Give it away. We're going to give it away. So after Dean departs, maybe I'll stick around. Sperber's got to get home. He lives down in the Pecan Groves where all the Mormons live. Have you converted yet to Mormonism?
Well, I was reading the tablets, the golden tablets, and I think I'm almost there.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I might have to close you on this live. All right, perfect. Let's get back to some Q&A. This is great. When doing deals out of state, do I use my current LLC in that state legally? That is a great question, Adam. The answer is yes. You can do deals out of state. You just have to have a foreign entity registration. Usually it's a couple $100. Like in Texas, I own a little over 30 properties in Texas, and all of them are owned in an LLC here in Arizona. and my holding company is also in Arizona. And then my living trust is in Arizona. All that stuff is in Arizona, but I have a foreign entity registration for those properties in Texas. So I don't have to have a Texas LLC. That's the way I did it. Great question. Pace, how can we do more deals with Pace? Oh my gosh. You guys asking for a friend. Love you. You want to know how to do more deals with me, Tanisha? I am doing one of the coolest things ever. I don't know if you know about this. Have you ever done a non-accredited investor fund?
I haven't personally yet. I'd love to hear about your take on it.
I'm doing a non-accredited investor fund, raising only $2 million.
Okay.
It's kind of expensive to get it set up in the very beginning.
Yeah.
And I want to make it so anybody with like $1,000 to $5,000 can invest in a 105 unit seller finance multifamily. I'm buying.
It's on a single deal.
It's on a single deal.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. And I think it gives a lot of people a path to getting into the real estate game, making their first investment, doing it with an expert. They don't need a ton of capital. I like it because you have a specific deal. If you were raising the money and you were just going to go and start shopping around and buying different things, I don't know if I like it as
much. That we already have the deal under contract. It's closing in 45 days. So I'm rapidly creating what it's called a regulation crowd fund that allows non-accredited investors to invest in it with $1,000. So you're not a lender. That's the cool thing. You're not a lender in that situation. You're actually an owner with me. And guess who else is going to be an owner? You want to know who else is going to be an owner on this property? He's right here on this poster right here. No
way.
Yep. Big Boy from Outcast. I was on the phone with him 2 days ago. Big Boy is going to be a significant owner of that of that deal. And you guys will have access to it. We're raising $2 million, which is about 8% of a down payment. And we're giving away 35% ownership to the non-accredited investor. So if you're somebody that's like, yo, I just want to get my hands on a deal. I want to know what it feels like to actually own something. That non-accredited investor fund, you don't even have to find the deal. I found the deal. We negotiated the deal. We're going to operate the deal. We're going to run that deal, own it for like 5 to 7 years. And then we're going to go sell that thing off, roll into another bigger deal. The coolest thing about that as a non-accredited investor, somebody who's not, super savvy yet, is that not only do you get to get your hands into a real transaction, you get to invest. And when you're invested and you're an owner of a property, guess what happens on big multifamily plays? The owners all get together on quarterly calls and talk about the project and what we're doing and how we're spending money. That alone, like if you're somebody that invests $1,000 into a 105 unit deal, you're not going to get rich on $1,000 investment, but you're going to add so much damn education to your brain of knowing exactly what it's like to own a multifamily and how to operate that multifamily. I'll tell you guys a little bit more how to get into that. Okay, cool. Ooh, I got a sober living deal right now. Okay. Sam Singh says, how do you become a killer closer? Do you know how to become a killer closer? I've actually never asked you this question because I know, what was your first deal?
What was my first
deal?
Yeah,
what was your first deal? No, your first deal ever.
Well, I kind of...
You did this with your mentor.
Well, I did some really, really small deals where I wasn't really involved. I was kind of involved, but it was more just connecting some people and they finished and did the deal. They did the paperwork.
I think that's the best way to do a deal.
I would get $1,000 or I'd get, $750, nothing major. My first actual deal where I met the seller, sat down at the kitchen table, built a relationship, filled out the contracts, did the whole thing, was a $40,000 deal. Did you pull up
in your green Lamborghini though?
I pulled up in my beat up gray Nissan pickup truck and I parked down the road because I was embarrassed.
Really?
Oh yeah, I was embarrassed for sure.
You thought the car was too nice to pull up to the house?
I didn't want to punk everybody in the neighborhood. Yeah, no.
So that was a $40,000 deal.
Yeah, and I got it through doing two things. That's it.
What'd you do?
I was authentic and I was enthusiastic. I had no skills. I swear to God, no skills. I actually called my mentor Lyle and I said, what do I do? And I paid this guy. He was supposed to be my Yoda, and he always gave the best advice. And I said, what do I do? He goes, Cody, you just do these two things. I said, hit me with it. He goes, lean in. I'm going to tell you something. He goes, just be authentic and enthusiastic.
You're kidding.
And I'm like, that's it? That's the advice from Yoda? Like, you're not going to give me the perfect thing to say, the perfect script, the perfect position. What do I wear? How do I stand? What do I do? It was just be yourself and raise your enthusiasm.
Yeah.
And be authentic. Like, don't sell, don't pitch, don't do anything. Just ask great questions and let the seller talk. And that's what I did. And in fact, a lot of people know this story. If you've ever been on any of my lives, is like when you roll up, I looked like I was a 15-year-old kid. Like I was so scared that the paperwork I would hold would shake a little bit. You know, it's your first time, you don't know what you're doing and you're trying to figure this thing out.
Oh, I love that.
And when I was pulling up to the house, the neighbor was out mowing their grass. And I went over to the neighbor and I said, hey, I'm taking a look at this house next door. And it was a triple threat, guys. It was a triple threat. Foreclosure. Okay. It was in foreclosure. It was in bankruptcy. And he was going through a divorce. Right out of the gates, the triple threat. And the neighbor said, as soon as I said, I'm going over to look at that house, he goes, yeah, right. He goes, you're not going to make it past the front door. He's literally kicked every single person off. And you're like the 100th person to come here.
This is the $40,000 deal?
This is the $40,000 deal. So right out of the gates, I'm like, like, oh my God, I'm going down. Like, there's no way I'm going to get this deal. And so I talk to the neighbor, and then I walk over and I knock on the door. And to make a long story short, no clue what I was saying. I just introduced myself. I'm the guy that talked to you on the phone. I didn't try to pitch him. I didn't make him an offer. In fact, I didn't do anything except for just ask him a bunch of questions. I didn't think I'd last longer than 5 minutes. Nobody else did. And I just asked what's going on. How many people have come here? What are some different things that you've tried to do to sell your house so far? And 5 minutes led to 15 minutes. I hadn't left the porch yet, but I hadn't gotten kicked out. And I just kept talking and asking questions. He was rough at the beginning, like real standoffish, kind of direct. But over time, he started opening up. And before you know it, he said, hey, you want to come inside? I'm like, I'm going in the house. Like, this is awesome. So you go in the house, and I'm talking to him, and I'm saying, look, dude, I'm new, I'm young. What advice would you give me to not find myself in a situation like this? And he started almost teaching me. And then I said, what's it like going through a divorce? And he's talking to me. And at about 45, 50 minutes in his house, he goes, are you hungry? And I said, yeah.
Do you think he felt bad for you?
Dude, or made me spaghetti.
Did you feel bad?
No.
Did he feel bad for you or what?
No.
Or you were just enthusiastic?
He was looking for a friend. I was the only person that showed up at his house that just listened to him and tried to connect.
This is literally how I got my first deal too, except I didn't get any spaghetti.
You didn't get no spaghetti? I had spaghetti and the meatballs and a contract, because at the end of our meal, we were sitting there talking, and I just looked at him, and I'm making up his name. I just said, hey, Bob, listen, I got to be honest with you. I'm not even qualified to do this deal. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't even know how to fill this paperwork out.
Yeah.
My mentor told me to do two things: be authentic and enthusiastic. And that's all I can do. And he said, that's all right, Cody. I want to do the deal with you. Get out your pen. And he literally told me to get out my pen, and he slid the contract over and started filling it out. And we worked that deal out, and that changed my life, because at the time I was a bookkeeper, 34 grand a year. Now I get one deal in a few hour time frame. I'm making 40 grand. I mean, what kind of life-changing move is that for you? I mean, what would an extra 40 grand do?
I think a lot of people in here wouldn't even know what 40 grand felt like in their bank account. You know what I'm saying? It
was amazing, man. It was really amazing. And it was hard too, because I still didn't know what to do. I had a contract, but I had to talk to attorneys. I didn't know how to, I've never done that. I was scared to do that.
Why couldn't you just like found a clever investor that like helped you out?
Well, Lyle was my mentor,
but he just said
he coached me through it. No, he coached me through it. But it still was scary. It's your first time. And I guess the lesson in all that is just, look, you don't have to have it all together to do this business. You just have to do the business.
You know, I love this advice, because if you're enthusiastic, what was it? Enthusiastic and what?
Authentic.
Authentic. Okay. So I tell a story about finding the bunnies. My first deal was a lady named Janie Munson, school teacher. She was retiring, moving from Arizona to Oregon. And I send out postcards, because that's what I did back then. I didn't know how to do it. Cold calling wasn't like a thing, yet. And so I go meet at her house. And on my way there, I text somebody that I knew actually understood values of homes. And I was like, what do I pay for this thing? Like, what do I pay for this thing? So I get the text back on my way to the house, and they go, pay $250, no more than $250. Like, we can't make money if you pay anything over $250. I go, okay. So I get to the house, and I ask Janie, I go, so how's it been going? All right. And I get into the questions, and we build rapport. And then I go, so, why haven't you sold your house yet? What's going on? I start asking the question. She says, well, I've got an offer at 265, but I haven't taken it because I knew I was going to meet with you today.
And you're like, wait, I need to be under 250.
I'm like, what?
Already I'm screwed.
I'm screwed. So I was really polite, and I sat there and listened to her for about an hour, and I just said, look, I got to be honest with you. I can't come to 265. I just can't help you. I don't want to waste your time. 265, I can't even touch. And she goes, okay, wow. Okay. So honest. Like, I thought you were going to maybe tell me that my windows were outdated and my roof was this because everybody else told me that. I go, no. I hope you have I loved my elementary school teachers. You're an elementary school teacher. Whatever I can do to help you, just, let me know. And as we're walking out of the house and she's sending me to my truck, she goes, were you serious about helping me? I go, yeah, I'm dead serious. What do you need help with? She goes, you're not going to buy my house, but you'll still help me. I go, yeah. She goes, okay, come back in the backyard. And she shows me these Cadbury egg size freaking bunnies, like massive. They're like mini donkeys, right?
The floppy ones?
The big boys, huge. This is in Arizona. I'm like, what the hell are you doing with bunnies? So they're in this dirt lot. And she goes, I don't know what to do with these bunnies. They're my granddaughter. She raised them and they're like family, but we need to move somewhere where we can't have bunnies. I go, no problem. And I put my mom on speakerphone. My mom drives up, picks up the bunnies, and goes and rehomes the bunnies for this lady. She's like, wow, she's crying. Power move, right? So thank goodness for my mom. I feel bad. Now I'm thinking about it. I never gave my mom any money. So what happens is I go home 2 weeks later, I get a call from Janie Munson and she goes, I am about to sign this contract for $265,000 with this other real estate investor, but I can't stop thinking about how you were the only one that actually cared about me. You were the only one that cared about me. You didn't tell me some story and you didn't tell me this. You genuinely just sat here and listened to me. And she's like, as a school teacher, everybody wants something from me. And you were the only person in 20 years that gave something to me. And I was like, damn. So I drive up there and I didn't even know what an assignment contract was. Right? Like you and I are both green. I made 25 grand. So everything Cody Sperber does, it's always bigger than me and better than me. He made 40. I made 25. He's got a much bigger house than me, makes a lot more money than me. This guy is freaking epic, but that's it. And so when people tell me, how do you become a better closer? Always, always, always find the bunnies. Find what these people,
good advice,
right? Enthusiastic and genuine. And if you're genuine in our heart of hearts as human beings, we want to help other people. It's not all about the money. Of course, the money is a great measuring tool, but it was always about finding the bunnies.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, there is obviously strategies and skills and capabilities that you need to practice to become a closer.
Yep.
Right? Storytelling, right? Like, how do you build rapport with somebody? Have you ever met somebody and like within an hour, you're like, it's my new best friend right here.
Four seconds. 4 seconds.
Yeah. It's like, but that's done. That we do things naturally when you meet somebody new, or you ask them a question and then you find something that's relatable and you tell a story about it. And then they tell you a story on that. Next thing you know, 40 stories go back and forth and you're like, you feel this connection. We overcomplicate in the real estate business thinking that we have to be like these super negotiators. Like you just have to think about, okay, how do I connect with people normally? I tell stories, I tell secrets, I ask lots of engaging questions.
It goes all the way back to caveman times. We all used to hang around campfires and tell stories to each other all the way back thousands and thousands of years ago. It's something that's like in our blood. Who's a better storyteller than Dean Graziosi, by the way?
Dude, honestly, the guy downloads from God.
I'm like, how many times do you have to rehearse this? And I ask him a question and I'm like, none of this is rehearsed. He's just phenomenal. Is so good.
He's one of the best in the world. He's been like, I've been playing the game in the real estate education for like a pretty high. And Dean obviously has done a lot bigger things. When I first met Dean and went to his office years ago, and I had to do something on camera with him, I remember that feeling of I was so insecure and so I felt insignificant.
Was it like meeting with Bob again and trying to get some spaghetti?
Oh, dude. And the camera goes and I'm like pretty good on camera at this point.
Right.
The camera goes and he just like slays it. And then it's like my turn to talk. And I'm like, yeah, what he said. Because you can't even touch it. It's so good.
Oh my gosh. All right, cool. A couple of questions in here. Show on stage. So Josh George has a great question. Who's part of the NFT project that I'm doing? Do you know about this NFT thing that I did?
I heard about that you were going to do it. So where are you at?
So here's what we plan on doing. I said, anybody that goes to Clever Summit, I'm going to give them a part ownership in a creative finance deal with me through an NFT. Crushed it.
Cutting edge,
all the way. So what I did is I found a 7-bed, 5-bath, massive house in Houston, Texas. Gorgeous, like gorgeous house. We closed on it finally 2 weeks ago. We're currently going through the renovation right now. Once it's renovated, I'm going to fly out, do a whole video series on it, and then release it. And then we're going to get everybody that's part of the NFT project involved and given ownership once it starts cash flowing. So it'll cost me about $250,000 in cash between getting it rented, catching up the arrears. We stopped a foreclosure, saved some lady from foreclosure. We bought the property subject to, so everybody's going to be part owner of a subject to deal. We renovated the house to the nines, and we're turning into a short-term rental in Houston, and it will cash flow. Now, the NFT has stipulations because I'm the one that's in charge. So I said, you can't do anything with this. Nobody can tell me what to do because this NFT project is going to go 10 years. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use all the cash flow to compound into a second deal, and then the cash flow from those to go into a third deal. And we're going to see how far the compounding effect of this one property can go in 10 years.
Now, can they sell their NFT?
They can sell their NFT at any time.
Okay. So, I mean, it's brilliant.
It's brilliant.
It's so good.
So
nobody else is doing this either, guys. Like the fact that Pace is so cutting edge and thinking about these things. And this is really the future of real estate ownership on some level. It's going to be all on the blockchain. It's going to be so transferred very simply through, hey, listen, I have this ownership. The NFT shows my ownership. I'm done with it. I sell it. The transaction happens very, very quickly. And what's cool about that is you can continue to make money as people transfer their ownerships around.
Yes.
There's so many different ways to monetize now.
What's interesting is, so I'm sitting here trying to create the NFT, and I text you, this is like 4 months ago. I go, I need a guy that can actually help me create this NFT for everybody that's going to be part of it. And I get on the phone with Peter, right? Mm-hmm. So I get on the phone with Peter. Peter starts working on it. He goes, okay, so are you going to let everybody buy and sell and trade these NFTs? I go, hell no. They need to hold on to these things because they're going to compound and this thing's going to be super valuable. He goes, dude, that's bullshit. You should let people be able to sell, buy, barter, do whatever they want with their NFT. Let me write the code to allow that, but I'll let you take a 5 to 15% spiff on it.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
And I'm like, you know what I'll do with that money is if people are trading the money, I'll take that income and I'll put it back into the NFT project to buy a second property.
There's so many ways that money is going to be generated from this one deal, and it's going to impact whoever's holding those NFTs. I personally want one, and I will hold it for 10 years.
You will?
Hell yeah.
It's locked out. I'm sorry. You can't.
Come on. Come on. Somebody sell me the
So
NFT.
here's actually what I really wanted to do with it. It's kind of the same thing that I've watched Sperber do for a long time. It's like, how do I create something that really takes newbies through the process? I could talk about NFTs all day long, right? I could create a YouTube channel and talk about NFTs and talk about other people's projects, or I can do something cutting edge that ties in real estate ownership into a creative finance sub-2 transaction that takes that money and actually teaches people through actual tangible ownership. And then they didn't have to pay $1 for it, so that we can change the game and impact people together. So I was so excited about Clever Summit that I told everybody, like, dude, let's make Clever Summit the dopest thing for you, because you've been somebody I've looked up to for 10, 15 years. Even when you drove that jalopy piece of shit car, I still looked up to you. I still looked up to you, even more so. So I'm actually thinking about doing another NFT for a multifamily project by the end of the year, and giving away about 5% of a multifamily deal through an NFT, just giving it away, just to show people, here's what it looks like to own a multifamily deal through an NFT. So anybody want to be a part of that? I'll literally, what we did on the last NFT, nobody paid me $1. Nobody paid me a single penny, and I'll have hundreds of people involved in that property and that whole project for 10 years. So it'll be really, really cool. And again, it's about creating additional sources of income.
Yeah, even more than that, it's pushing the boundary. You got to be creative in this business. You know, you got to think. Look, one of the biggest shifts that ever happened to me is I was the first investor in the entire country to use email marketing on a mass scale to sell wholesale deals. Nobody had done it. Email marketing did not exist. Mass email. There was no systems, no software. I saw somebody else doing it in the golf industry. Bought the software from them. This is 2004. And nobody else was even touching it. And I was doing things and it gave me a massive competitive edge. I did it again with ringless voicemail and text message marketing long before anybody else even touched it. You're doing it now. You're on the forefront of seeing amazing technology, these like groundbreaking technologies that can get things out to the masses and monetize things in ways that have never been available before. It's brilliant. And it's why you're one of the biggest leaders in the industry and going to continue to be if you keep doing stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm just going to keep doing crazy shit like that just to help people truly understand how to own things and how to actually be involved in projects, not just learn about it, right? Actually be involved in private conversations as an owner rather than an outside purveyor. So guys, we've got Dean Graziosi coming here in 20 minutes talking about amazing storyteller, but I want to jump into a couple of Q&As before he gets here.
And I want to cover
okay, perfect. I'll give you 12 minutes on that. Is that good? You want 15?
15.
Okay, well, guys, we got 5 minutes of Q&A before Dean Graziosi comes in here. Who's pumped to hear what Dean Graziosi has to say about what to do in a down economy, how to thrive, how to not freeze, but actually how to thrive? Give me a me. By the way, for the 2,200 people that are in here right now, you guys got to remember that there's 3 prizes being given away today monetarily. First place, second place, third place. First place, 250. Second place, 150. Third place, 100. Doesn't sound exciting, but you also get a dope, like really cool badge that comes along with it. It's digital. And how you win it is your engagement, how many questions you ask, how many people you guys are actually, and also if you guys are sharing this, what happens is
how do we get them to share this and really get them? Let's pump the numbers up, guys. I feel like the dude on Wolf of Wall Street where I'm like, we got to get those numbers up.
Yeah.
We got to get those numbers way up. We got to pump those numbers up. How do we motivate people to share this bad boy with a bunch of people? Hit your social, hit your friends, text some fools and say, man, get in here. Cause I'm about to school you guys on some really great data that I think is going to help you out in a major way. And it's going to be the perfect transition going into what Dean's going to talk about.
How dope is Air Meet, by the way? Do you like this?
I really like it. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely.
Do you know how much this will cost us to run this?
Do I want to know?
No, this.
Do I have to sell an NFT?
Yeah, you have to sell 3 NFTs, bro. This Air Meet will cost us about $4,000 to run. But why I like this is because of the engagement, and you guys get to know each other in the side chat. Don't freaking sleep on that. You guys need to be connecting with each other, becoming friends with each other. If you guys are a clever student, say it. If you guys are a Gator lender, say it. If you guys are a sub-2 student, say it. Tell people who you are, what you're doing, and how you can help them. Let's do that in the side chat and let's get the engagement going. And guys, take a couple freaking minutes because here's my ask. If I haven't done enough stuff for you guys, I promise to work harder. But if I have done enough stuff for you, please, I want Dean Graziosi to come in here and go, damn, on a Friday night, y'all got 2,500 or 2,800 people in here. Right?
Lots of ways to do it. Share this link. Take screenshots of this, post it on your social, tell everybody go over to Pace's social, click on his link in his bio. Same with mine. And let's get these numbers up.
Love it. I'm gonna do one more question and then we're gonna get into your deal.
Okay.
Oh, this is probably one of the best ones right here. For a brand new investor, how do I get my first deal? Well, you know what? I almost want here, you know what we should do? Let's invite homeboy to the stage, Nate. Let's see if we can get Nate on the stage. Nate, come on the stage. Let's have a 3-minute conversation with you. I'd love to chat with you. And guys, by the way, if you guys are sharing this link with people, I'll bring you on the stage with Dean Graziosi. That'd be freaking sick. All right, what do we got here? All right, Nate, what do you got for us, brother? I can see your audio is good, but your camera's not on. What do you got for us? Nate. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sorry, brother. You missed out. Here's a better one. Rosa Alcantar says, how do I, as a beginner, thrive in a down economy? You know what, Rosa, let's invite you to the stage. We'll give you a couple of minutes. How do I thrive in a down economy? Well, I can tell you right now, that's the number one thing that Dean Graziosi is going to talk about when he gets in here in about 16 minutes. Okay, I've got 16 minutes, and then Dean's going to be in here, and that's exactly what he's going to talk about. Rosa's like, damn it, I don't have my audio on, guys. Guys, if you want to come on the stage, if you guys want to come, here she is. Here's our girl, Rosa. I can hear you. You got to say something.
Oh.
There you are. Say something to me. Give me something good.
Hi, Pace.
Hi,
yeah,
Rosa. Where are you at, Rosa?
I'm in Oregon.
Oh my gosh. You know, I'm moving to Tacoma, Washington to do a challenge for brand new investors in October, right?
Yeah.
Are you gonna come and hang out with me up in Tacoma, Washington, and watch me get beat up by the homeless people in Tacoma?
Can I go hang out with you? That'd be awesome.
Of course. We're gonna be doing here's what we're gonna do. Monday through Friday in October for 4 weeks straight, I'm going to be with Robin Hurt out in the field, live streaming it. And then on the weekends, I'm going to be doing Q&A and whiteboard sessions. I'm literally going like 16 hours straight, Saturday, Sunday. We're going to have taco parties every single weekend up there in Tacoma. I'd love to see you up there, Rosa.
Oh, that'd be awesome. I'm going to hit you up.
Are you generating leads in your real estate business right now? I'm going to assume the answer is no.
What do you mean by
if you have to even think about it, Rosa, the answer is definitely no. Here's what I would do. 100%. This is what I would do. In the side chat today, find people in Oregon. There's people in Oregon right now doing deals. Carolina Allen, Stephen Allen are in Oregon doing deals right now. She just assigned her first $30,000 seller finance deal. Rosa, you need to become friends with her in the side chat. That's the first thing you need to do. You need to get around proximity. You need to change the people you're hanging out with so that you can change your future. 100%. That's my first piece of advice. It's crazy when you hang out with people that are doing shit that you aren't doing, right?
You guys always say it, squat up, squat up, squat up. And the fact that we can use technology and connect with people, I don't know. How do they see if they're from Oregon? I know on Zoom, I can change my name to say Cody.
Oh, they can change their name. Look at their names.
Change your name. Oh, okay. So they're just putting their states. But even like changing your name from just your name to your name, your phone number, and your state that you're doing deals in, I think will help with some of the networking. I don't know how they change their name on the fly.
They know how. They know how to go in there.
I would do that, and then just hunt down people that are in your go-to markets and connect.
Love it. Yeah. All right, let's jump into your deal because when you sent this over to me, I was like,
I'm gonna hold on before we go to that. I need everybody's attention for 1 minute.
Okay.
Think about what's going on in the economy and what's gotten us here. We have over $30 trillion in debt. COVID hit. The government printed $5 trillion and handed it out and incentivized people to stay at home, to not work, to not produce. When you add that much currency to an ecosystem and encourage less production, it breaks the whole system. This is why we have 9% inflation, which is actually much, much higher. That's just what they're reporting. And if you understand how they calculate the inflation, is they have a basket of goods. In that basket of goods, these people, marketing people, decide if that's a good message or not. Because if it's not a good message, they just take something out of the basket and put something else in there that gives them a better spin on what's going on. So it's all BS. And we're actually up against something that might not be fixable without going through so much massive pain that I don't think the Fed is going to be willing to do it. I don't think they're actually telling us what they're going to do. They're going to destroy demand. And that means they're going to continue to raise the Fed funds rate up. And so if you understand the 3 tools to monetary policy, and I think it's really important that you guys take the time to do some research. I bet you right now, if I ask the 2,200 people that are in this room, who is the Federal Reserve chairman, a lot of you guys don't know who that is. Some of you do, but a lot of you are like, who? Huh? Do you know that he was a banker? Do you know where he came from? Do you know his background, his schooling? This guy is in charge of monetary policy. And the decisions that the Fed makes. So the FOMC meets multiple times every single year. You can Google when the next meetup is, but typically what happens is they have a meeting. All of the people from all the different reserves meet, and then it's called the FOMC, and it's headed by Jerome Powell, the Fed chair. And what ends up happening is they meet and they decide which of three levers they're going to pull. They have three levers. That's it, right? And that's what dictates whether the economy is going to expand or contract. The monetary policy is going to expand or contract. And if it's going to, right now, they're contracting it because they've been doing what's called quantitative easing, and they've been expanding it for decades. Now they're contracting it. But the problem is they only have three main levers to pull. The first lever is called the Fed funds rate, the discount rate. And when COVID hit, they slammed it down to zero. Okay. What that meant is every night, banks, big banks, it determines the interest rate that banks can lend money to each other. So big banks would lend to little banks, and these little banks would have to clear their books every night because every bank has to have a certain amount of reserves. Okay. And so when you slam the interest rate to zero, it makes interbank lending, it incentivizes interbank lending. And that makes more loans happen. That makes credit cards cheaper. That makes anything that has to do with credit cheaper. Well, the last time the Fed has raised the Fed funds rate this aggressively is 1994. In 1994, they raised it 300 basis points. What that did to the economy, because we were having inflation back then, what that did to the economy is it raised the cost of borrowing up so significantly high that it put us into a recession. And what ended up happening is your credit cards got more expensive. Cost of living got significantly more expensive. Interest rates went up. Mortgage interest rates went from 6 to 9%. And I don't know if you're paying attention to what's happening, but we're witnessing the death of the middle class right now. And so
when I hear that, the death of the middle class, it makes me get like
I haven't
chills.
Even scratched the surface. Think about this. They raised it 50 basis points, 50 basis points, 75 basis points. They're probably going to do another 75. Their initial plan was to raise it 300 basis points within a year. They're going to have to go up. The Fed funds rate is going to have to go up into the 4s right now just to even tamper what's happening. And I'm telling you right now, we don't have the toughness in us as Americans. We have had it so good. We do not have the strength to go through having the Fed funds rate that high for any significant amount of time. So what's probably going to happen is they're going to raise it really, really aggressively, and then they're going to have to drop it back down, or they're going to implode the stock market, and it's going to put us into stagflation potentially. And so that's one lever they're pulling. The second lever they're pulling is called open market operations. That's them selling treasury bonds. Mortgage rates are attached to the 10-year treasury. The problem with the treasury, and if you think about how treasuries work, bonds work, they're inverse. Price and yield are inverse from each other. So it's no different than a foreclosure auction. If there's a bunch of people bidding on a house, the price gets bid up and the returns are littler. If there's not a lot of people bidding, you can slide in there and get a better deal. You can buy it at a bigger discount, which gives you a bigger return. And so what's happening is when the stock market was pumping and crypto was pumping, nobody wanted to buy a 10-year treasury bond because inflation's up here. The bond yield or the return is down here. Who's going to move their money out of this and into that? Nobody. So what do? They implode the stock market. They implode the crypto market. This is all happening by design. And they're trying to move money over into the bond market. And when that happens, it brings down it should bring down the yield curve. The problem is we're in an inverse yield curve. That means the 2 year is different than is a better return than the 10-year. But what's happening is inflation is the other piece of the pie that's floating out there. If inflation is at 9% and the 10-year is only at 5%, there's no way anybody's going to go over into a 10-year bond because inflation will eat up all their profits, and over 10 years they're going to end up negative. So this is the dynamic that's all happening right now. The third thing is the Federal Reserve rate. We don't got to talk about that.
Does a small person in this world have any chance when this is going on?
Yes, but only if you pay attention to what we're talking about here today. Because there's a couple of things that the normal person can do right now, and I know Dean's going to talk about it. Let's put these markets up. I know a lot of people are here in real estate, and this is, by the way, what I meant by the death of the American middle class. Okay, real fast. Just pay attention to me real fast. The average American makes $68,000 per year. Okay, 68K per year. Interest rates over the last few months, did they go up? They went way up, right? They went up into the sixes. Okay, they're starting to come back down a little bit, but they went way up into the sixes. About 2 months ago is when I ran my numbers. The average person makes $68,000 a year. After paying taxes, that's a take home of $3,923 per month. That's the average person. They're putting in their pocket $3,900 per month.
3,900 and how much?
3,923.
That's the average human in America.
The average person in America. They make $68K per year. They're taking home $3,900 per month. Are food prices going up? Is housing going up? Is rent going up? Is gas going up? Everything's going up.
It's crazy.
So you have $3,900 to deal with. You take the average house in America, which is $390,000. It's actually over $400,000, but I'm using math from 2 months ago. $390,000, 5% interest rate. Interest rates are actually 5.5 or almost 6, but let's just use 5 for easy math so you guys can track me. 5% interest rate, $390,000 house. That mortgage payment on that house at a 5% mortgage is $2,321.
So say that one more time. You've got people making
$68K,
$68,000,
bringing home $3,923
per year.
Yep, bringing home $3,923.
So after taxes, all that kind of stuff, $3,923 per month.
Yep, per month. Sorry, yeah, per month. The average house costs $391,000.
Okay, so the average house $391,000.
Yep, at a 5% interest rate, that's $2,321 a month PITI.
Ouch. Ouch.
That's 59% of your take home. Now, I just want to ask you guys a question. Can you afford to give 60% of your income away on one item?
59% of your income.
This is why people are selling to hedge funds. This is why your grandma and grandpa, your mom and dad, they're selling out right now and they're destroying the middle class because the largest transfer of wealth historically has been real estate. And they're giving away the future to survive today because prices are at an all-time high, inventory's at an all-time low, interest rates are rising, inflation's out of control, and they're taking the cash. The problem is that's the wrong move. Okay. And 1/5 to 1/4 of every house in the United States has been gobbled up by a corporation.
Wait, say that one more time.
1/5, almost 1/4, 1 out of every 4 houses is owned by a company now.
Wow.
Not a person.
We're talking hedge funds. We're talking BlackRock, all the big boys.
And what do they know that you don't? What do they see that you don't? Because they're much smarter at money than you. Better at us. This is why I study them. And for me, as I stare at this, I'm like, okay, the closer you get to the creation of money, the better your borrowing terms are. And this is why we have a wealth gap in America. And our job on this call is to figure out how to shorten that gap and to get out in front of the wave of this recession that's happening, which is why we're calling in the big guns. Me and Pace used our favors to bring Dean here for you guys. And the things that he's doing, the thing that Tony Robbins and him are doing is perfectly timed for what's coming up. Go to my slides real fast. And I know we got Dean coming here in any second. Yeah. So I asked my friend Ken, who owns Housing Alerts. He's a Harvard graduate. Are they able to see that? Okay. So let's go down. All right. So obviously, we have the highest level of home price appreciation in U.S. history. The blue line is the U.S. Okay. Oh, so you got to click there and there. Okay, cool. Yeah. Just.
I got it.
Well,
yeah,
just leave it like that.
Okay,
That's fine. I can read what's going on. All right. So obviously we have the highest home price appreciation in U.S. history. Go to the next chart. All right. Leave it on this so I can see it. Can you leave it on the other one so I can see it? Yeah, perfect. Because they see it. All right. So what this chart is showing you, median days on market for June, which is the last full month of 2022. Median days on market. As you can see, everything is red.
Wow.
Everything is red. Historically, this has never happened. We have never seen such low days on market, such little inventory. In fact, go to the next slide. This is what a normal market looks like. Go back up. This is what we look like. Go back down. That's a normal market. That is 2019, right before COVID hit.
Damn.
As you can see, there's some markets that are hotter than others, some markets that sell properties faster than others. The whole freaking country has an inventory issue. It's horrible. And it's only because of COVID. It's only because of supply chain issues. And we're going to work through it. It's the only thing keeping our housing market alive right now, by the way.
Is the inventory.
Yeah,
because if we had more inventory, this market would completely implode.
Just like crypto, stocks, everything else. Now, the good news is real estate's a hard asset. So, and historically, it's the best asset class to own, price adjusted for inflation. All right. So go back down to this is what a normal market looks like. June of 2019. Go down to the next slide. These are the median days on market year over year. So here's what I wanted to show you. Things aren't what you think. If you go back up to the red slide right there, and now drop down to the third one. What you're seeing here, this is year over year. Okay. What this means right here is this is the real story of what's happening in our country right now. Things are cooling. And while if you just look at June by itself, it's a red snapshot of just 1 month, right? It's all red. The whole country's red. This is just June. But if you look at June 2021 to June 2022, this is telling you what's happening year over year. The days on market are expanding rapidly. And this is an indication of a cooling market. Go to the next one. This is the price decrease. Pay attention to what's going on. Look at the purples. Look at the pinks. Prices are decreasing across the country, across the Sun Belt for the first time year over year. Everything was skyrocketing upward. It is now starting to go down. This is the perfect time to be in real estate. This is the perfect time to be in our business. This is when you should ramp up your enthusiasm, your energy, your marketing dollars. This is it. Okay, go down to the next one. Okay. This is the number of months in inventory we have for just June. As you can see, this is what's propping up the housing market. We have less than 1 month of inventory nationwide.
Less than 1 month.
Less than 1 month of inventory nationwide. That's the dark red. So it's anywhere between 2 months and 1 month. It's just keeping us alive, but it's going to work itself through and this is what this is going to show you next. Go to the next one. Okay. This is the number of months inventory year over year. So you can start to see it's not all red. Things are starting to hit the market. People are starting to sell. People have woke up and go, oh, maybe I missed the boat. I need to get my house listed now before the prices drop.
Oh, bro, it's happening. I'm feeling it. We got sellers coming and throwing houses at us, dude.
This is the best time for you to work your old leads. Hammer those old leads. Go back and dig up all those leads you generated for the last 6 months and call them all again, text them all again right now. Okay, go to the next slide.
Dude, this is dope. Who wants access to these slides? You guys want me to email these out to everybody that sticks around for after Dean? You guys want this slide? Give me a yes in the comments if you guys want these slides. He's literally not even going to get through half of this stuff.
I'm gonna blow through the rest. You guys are gonna freaking love this.
Got
This right here is gonna make, besides what Dean's about to drop, this is gonna make your time here worth it. Go. I gotta see it. Nope. Next one. Yeah. Scroll up so I can see the title of the slide.
Oh, title of the slide. My bad.
There we go. This is the active list count year over year. As you can see, listings are going up. Days on market are going up. The housing market is cooling. You can see which markets are cooling. It's look at all the purple where the mountain ranges are. Those markets, Arizona, Nevada, Utah, Idaho, these markets are cooling. Parts of Florida, cooling. Parts of Texas, cooling. So pay attention to what's going on. So now I'm going to show you what markets are hot, which ones suck. Go to the next one. All right. So in a declining market, buying for cash flow, always a power move, right? You can never go wrong if you buy for cash flow in a declining market. West Virginia, Mississippi, Oklahoma, Texas, Arkansas, Kansas, Louisiana, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, the 10 best states for cash flow. States ranked highest for cash flow. Now, the challenge with that is they are not necessarily the best for an appreciating market. So you can see the hot market score right there in the middle. It's kind of got the red 7, 21, 5, 11. What that is telling us is West Virginia actually is a great cash flow market and a horrible appreciation market. So you're just buying for cash flow.
Legit.
That means that the economy is not expanding. People aren't moving there, but houses are cheaper and the rental rates are strong. All right, go to the next slide. These are the 10 worst states for cash flow. You probably could have guessed them. Nobody should own rentals in District of Columbia.
No, hell no.
All right, too difficult. Hawaii, maybe if you have a luxury Airbnb or something, but like very difficult to scale. Utah, that's a surprising one.
Oh no, I was just in Utah 2 weeks ago. It was crazy, just like Idaho. Boise is bonkers. Like Boise houses, you 3-bed, 2-bath house, $1 million.
Yeah, look at the median home values. Red. I mean, it's wrong. It's not in alignment with what it should be.
Right.
Go down to the next one. Those are 10 worst. This is now cash flow plus appreciation. So if you wanted to double dip, these are the 10 states that you want to focus on.
I'm heavy Texas. I'm heavy Florida. I'm not really much in South Carolina. I've got 2 properties in South Carolina, but I agree with all of these.
Yeah.
I love Georgia. It's my favorite spot. Yep.
You're crushing it in these markets. All right. So these are the combos. Okay. Go to the next
North Carolina. Oh my gosh. Yes.
These are the 10 best metros. Now we're going a little deeper.
Arkansas. Interesting. Okay.
Going
cool.
deeper, baby.
I love this.
We got to go deeper, right? Because now it's like, because I get this question all the time. You probably get this all the time. Where do I focus?
Right.
I'm not giving you my opinion. I'm showing you the data. I pulled some big favors to get my Harvard buddy to put these things together for us for this call. So the fact that you showed up here, you're going to get rewarded by knowing without a shadow of a doubt, this is what the data is telling me. 10 best metro markets. Okay. Are you in any of these? If not, take a picture, take a screenshot, get these slides and start marketing in these markets. Go to the next one. That's for cash flow. Here's the combo markets. Cash flow and appreciation. Georgia, baby, right at the top. So I own lots of property in Yuma.
I do too. I have 115 doors in Yuma.
Yuma surprised me. Yuma's up there.
Yuma's great. It's like this little place where Californians move, but they're still super close to California. Yeah. Oh, I love
Yuma. Look
Yuma.
at North Carolina's on there 2 times. Florida's on there a couple of times. Texas is always on there. Texas always crushed it. All right, go to that. Those are 10 best metros. Here's the counties. We're going deeper.
Ooh.
We're going deeper. So now you can, all right, where in Texas, where in this particular area? Look at these counties.
Love it.
Okay. Those are cash flow counties. Obviously, I'm going to give you cash flow plus appreciation next. Okay.
Clayton County, Georgia.
Yeah. Apache, AZ, La Paz, AZ. Lots of Georgia.
Interesting.
I know.
You don't need to guess where to focus your time.
No. And this is how I run the business. You know, I'm always looking at these things. Go down to the next slide. This is just kind of saying these are the worst. Stay away from these.
California, Hawaii.
You could have guessed some of them, but Skagway Municipality, Arkansas.
Yeah, I would have never guessed that.
I would have never marketed there.
Right.
Not on purpose.
Kings County, New York, Richmond. Yeah, 100%. New York, New Jersey, California.
Tough ones.
Tough.
And this last one just kind of gives you, this is the appreciating market map. Red, appreciating. You probably could have guessed it. Arizona, Florida, parts of California that are near Arizona, the meat and potatoes of Nevada, Utah, out of control, right? That whole mountain region is just out of control. And so, you know, I wanted to show you guys this to give you guys some direction of what to do on the real estate side of things, because a lot of you guys are in real estate and it's important for you guys to, do a couple things. This is my thing. And then I'm going to shut up. Is Dean here yet?
I'll double check.
Find out if Dean's here. If he's here, then I'm going to get him on stage because I know his time is super valuable. If not, I'll keep rapping. How do we see if he's here?
Usually they pop up in the little bottom area.
All right. Well, it's 5:07.
Oh, here he is. He says he's here.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna end with this, and we're gonna bring on the great Dean Graciosi. Couple things for you to do right now, and it's gonna segue perfectly into what Dean's gonna talk to you about here today. Number one, you got to do a financial audit on your life. There are toys you bought. I guarantee there's somebody watching this that owns a boat, owns some sand rails, owns a razor, owns a stupid watch, owns crap that you acquired over the last 2 years, because we all got handed free money. The economy's been fantastic. Most of us made more money than we ever have made before. It was just a good time to make money. The problem is the good times are over, and it's a great time to do a financial audit, pay off those high interest credit cards, get out from all those stupid toys, and pay close attention to what you're spending your money on. Cancel the vacations and pull back and get your financial stuff together. Number two, like we started this call, you got to raise your intention, raise your enthusiasm right now and make more money. Start the side hustle, start the business. Look, if I ask Pace, how many different streams of income do you have? Pace has lots of different ways he makes money, right? And one of the best ways he makes money is the same way I make money, right? I sell information. I sell my knowledge. I became really great at something and I sell it to people, right? If you're great at guitar, record yourself doing guitar lessons, and sell guitar lessons. Start the side hustle. If you've been sitting on the fence, if somebody's been kind of crapping on your dreams and it's kind of pulled you back a little bit, or you've been kind of saying, well, now's not the right time. It is the right time.
100% the right
now
time.
Is the right time to ramp up the money-making stuff. Lean in on your real estate business. Lean in on starting the business and getting it going. And don't be scared to hire talent right now. A lot of people are getting fired already. We're starting to see mortgage companies, real estate agencies, people are pulling back and they're scaling back, or there's all this talent all of a sudden on the sidelines. Put people to work. And then obviously the last piece of advice is to squad up. That's it. What Pace says every single time he's ever been on a live. Squad up. Connect in the chat. Show up to these type of meetups, virtual meetups, in-person meetups. Come to the live events. Get involved. Sub2 communities, greatest Facebook community for real estate out there. It's just, you guys got to be plugged in. And if you hold each other accountable as we're going through this and you listen to what Dean's about to tell you, you're going to come out the other end of this thing better than ever. Last recession, I made tens of millions of dollars. This recession, I'm going to make hundreds of millions of dollars. And it's just, I'm not excited for a recession because I'm really sad that a lot of people are going to get hurt. And I'm sad of what's going on in the political games and all the BS that's happening. But from a business perspective, I understand it. And I'm going to lean in on it. And it's time for you to lean in on it as well. And you're at the right place to do that. So
who's excited for Dean Graziosi to come in here? He is in the backstage. Let's give him a little bit of love, warm up the side chat. We've got 2,300 people in here live. That's pretty amazing for just a week's notice.
I love Dean. I'll tell you a funny story when we bring him up here. First time I actually met Dean in person, we had known about each other for a long time. But I'm actually on the airport. I'm on the phone with one of my attorneys. I'm yelling at them about a real estate deal. I'm telling my attorney, I don't care what they say. They better sign the contract today or I'm going to go after them. And as I'm yelling at them and I'm waiting for the elevator doors open up. I look up, Dean Graziosi standing right in front of me, coming out of the elevator. I'm getting in the elevator at the airport. I'm yelling at my attorney and Dean goes, "Hey, Cody, how you doing?" I said, "Dean Graziosi." I was like in shock. It was like a star, right? I'm like, "Oh, hi." And my attorney's like, who are you talking to? I'm like, "Shut up. Hold on." So I'm like, "Hi, Dean, how are you?" And by this time we had switched places. I'm now in the elevator and he's outside. He goes, "Cody, I love everything you've been doing. Let's connect." And I said, "I would love to do that, Dean. Let me get your," and right as I said number, the door shut and I went down the elevator and I never got his number. So I had to wait get Dean's number like a month later.
That's so good.
We finally connected.
That's so good. Well, everybody's super excited. Thank you so much, Dean, for coming here. Let's get him up on the stage. Mr. Dean Graziosi. He's on vacation. I can't even believe we got him here, to be honest. Dean,
what's
how
up,
you doing?
boys?
Hey,
what's going on? Hey, I thought this was like the perfect shot. I got the flag out there, the beach. Now we're at a house that we rented for the family. Hey, everybody. I've been watching your comments. I've been watching you guys. It's so good to see you. Pace, I like the hat on backwards, dude. You look like you look like you're 22 years old, man. That's right. That's solid.
Who says I'm not?
How you doing? Good to see you, Cody.
Yes. Yeah. Where are you guys at?
We are in Del Mar, California.
Love it. Love it. We're grateful that you're here. I know you're on vacation. If it wasn't so pertinent in everything that's going on in the economy and the stuff that when we're over at your office, the stuff that you talk to us about blows our socks off. And we're always like, this is it, man. This is what people need to hear. So
yeah, no, it's great. And listen, I've been listening to you and I've been watching all the comments. Hey, everybody, thank you for all the great comments. Appreciate it. A couple of things I want to share. We are going into a recession. There's no avoiding that, right? Let me turn off my notifications on my phone so it doesn't just keep beeping. We do have 41-year high inflation. Those things are happening. The real estate market is shifting. Real estate, I kind of know a little bit about real estate. I've dabbled in it a little bit. But one thing I want to share with you guys, to be on a call like this, to follow Pace, to follow Cody, to gain capabilities from somebody who's already been there, who understands it. Just one thing I want to share. Don't make things worse than they are. This is Tony Robbins 101. Don't make things worse than they are, and you don't make things better than they are. You just see them as they are. And then we work on capabilities to get through it. And what I want to share with you is, when Cody was sharing, some people said, oh my God, this is depressing, or this is sad. I would say, let's try to reframe that today. I want to talk about a couple things today. But I would reframe that to, wouldn't you rather anticipate and prepare rather than react? Think about that, right? In life, think how cool is it when you know something's coming? Like, listen, can we all agree? And let me see it in the chat. Can we all agree that we have an inner voice that's just shitty, for lack of a better word? We have an inner voice sometimes that tells us that in today's world, they call it imposter syndrome, but we're not good enough. We don't have enough money. It's the wrong time. We're not smart enough. Other people are getting the deals, not us. I'm not smart enough to pull this off. My family thinks I'm nuts for being a dreamer. Can we all agree we have that voice, right? That we all have that. Can we all agree that limiting belief, or that story, or that inner conversation, right? Look at all the yeses coming in. Thank you, Joel and Yvette and Brian and Rosie and Dustin and Marcello and Adam, for being honest, right? We agree we have that voice, right? Can we agree that voice has already cost us too much in our life, right? Do you remember the time you were going to go in on real estate, but you held back because, you got real, right? Or the voice overpowered you and it wasn't fight or flight. It was more like I froze. Like, let me just see how this goes. And how does that work out when you just see how it goes, right? So if we have that voice, and we know it's already cost us something. When I said prepare or anticipate, I'm going to try to loop this back. Think about this. It's like not a war. Let's talk about a battle, right? If we have a battle and you're an army and someone surprises you, like you didn't know they were coming, and all of a sudden the army's there, right? Like George Washington on Christmas Day, that turned the revolution in America around, is the Hessians from British, 15,000 of the best soldiers in the world. They just kicked the army's butt in America, and they were all partying, 15,000 of them. They never thought that a ragtag army of 4,000 people would cross the Delaware and charge them in the middle of the night. In 10 minutes, the war was over. They won, right? And it was the shift of the Revolutionary War in George Washington. I didn't study history in high school, but I geeked out on it older in life, right? That's a surprise. But here's what happens, and I just want to, this is what came to my heart. I never planned on what I'm going to say. What came to my heart is, when we have a story, we have a belief, we have a fear, we have an inner self-doubt, we have imposter syndrome. We already know the story. We already know the enemy. It never comes on you like what George Washington did to the Hessians, to the British soldiers, right? A surprise attack. You know it's coming. You already know that as the economy shifts, as uncertainty is an all-time high, we had 2 years of COVID, then high inflation, and now we're heading into a recession, high interest rates, things shifting. If you feel uncertain, congratulations for being human. But here's the thing. As the world shifts, and I just thought it was good to share this, as it shifts, whatever self-doubt you've had in your life, whatever story you've had that's held you back, I promise you this, it's going to get louder. It's going to say it like it is. It's going to get louder. More you have conversations with people at a dinner table and family and friends telling you, oh my God, it's a recession. Oh my God, here we go again. Oh my God, it's 2008 again. Oh my God, here it is. The more that happens, the more uncertainty gets louder. The more that inner voice gets louder, the more that you feel like freezing, right? But here's what I'm going to tell you. Here's the cool part. If you anticipate and prepare, I really beat up this anticipate and prepare. I really want to anchor this in. If you anticipate and prepare, you know that the army is coming for this battle 6 months in advance, 5 months in advance. You can prepare, you can fortify the walls, you can find out what their strengths are and get stronger. You can find out their weaknesses and take advantage of it. As Wayne Gretzky said when he said, why are you such a good hockey player? Remember the quote? He said, because most people skate to where the puck is. I figured out how to skate to where the puck was going. Think about that. If we anticipate, if we prepare, we kind of know where the puck is going. And that's like one of the messages I want to share today. We have two games when the world changes, shifts, goes up, goes down, goes sideways. We have two games. We have an inner game and we have an outer game. I'd love to talk about the outer game today. But I'd be doing you a disservice if I didn't take time during my family vacation to be with you guys today, if I didn't talk about the inner game. You know the enemy that's coming. You know the self-doubt is going to come. You know your imposter syndrome is going to feel stronger. You know your belief that I can't scale. Something's changed. I should wait. You know that that's coming and you know that it's wrong. You know, during a recession, during a shift in an economy, there's fight, flight, and the third F is freeze. Freezing will be huge. And it's really the time when you can excel because most people are going to wait to see what happens. Most people are going to wait for someone to come and save them. I don't care if you like the last president or you like the current president or you don't like either or you like both or you don't care. The fact of the matter is neither the last president, the current president, or the next president, no matter where you live in the world, is coming to save you. It's on you. So we could blame, we could see, we could wait, or we could do something most people don't during a shift. We could gain new capabilities and thrive. You know, I've been in real estate since I was 17 years old. I'm 53 years old. Real estate saved my life. So did self-education, learning from others who've already been there. And Cody said a couple of those slides were amazing, Cody shared. And some of you, that's over your head. You're not there yet. You're working on your first deal. Some of you are crushing it. That was perfect. Some of you are in the middle. No matter where you are, just know that real estate, I thrived in real estate. Between 2007 and 2009, the last down market, I bought almost 1,000 houses, right? Some people, this is Tony's slogan, or Tony's saying, during winter, meaning a winter economy, some people starve and freeze. Some people snowboard and ski. Who snowboards and skis? Those that anticipate the enemy, those that prepare, those that anticipate, those that gain new capabilities, those that shift from being a speculator to someone who buys on cash flow, or you sell to those who have cash flow properties, right? It's not about is the world going to change? It always changes. And there's always problems. We just want to handle bigger problems, right? If I'm at a table with 10 successful people, I know the richest person at the table handles the biggest problems, has the ability to pivot, gains capabilities from other people, takes uncomfortable action, right? There's a lot of common traits there. So today, when I was thinking about what to share, I wrote down a few things. There's an inner and an outer game. When it comes to your inner game, your insecurities are going to be magnified. That's the word I wrote down. You're going to want to solve bigger problems. Be the person when there's a problem, you're like, bring it to me. I got this. Bring it to me, right? Don't freeze. This is not a time to freeze. And then you want a little motivation. Google when the most wealth is made. Google when the most successful companies are formed. It's always during a recession because you have less competition. It's easy to be successful when you're born on third base. It's easy to be successful if you're in real estate and you buy a piece of property. It takes you an extra 3 months to rehab. And because the market's moving so fast, you made an extra 20 grand. That's easy. Man, when it's time to dig in, when you're challenged, most people can't hang. It's the time to thrive. It's the time to gain next level capabilities. It's time to not sit on your hands. It's time to anticipate your enemy. It's time to gain the knowledge to go to another level because your competition shrinks. So that's the inner game. You boys still there? You got any questions? You got any thoughts? Did I lose you guys? Okay, good. You guys are still there.
We're here.
Yeah.
We're just back here.
He's clicking buttons trying to get us.
I want to go to the outer game, but I want to see you guys. I want to know. I can go on a rant here and
that's what we want, man. We're taking notes over here, brother. I was going to
say we were over here just listening.
You know, any thoughts? Any questions? This is your family here, Pace.
So how does somebody actually gain next level capabilities that might not think they're ready for it?
Yeah, I mean, okay. So great question. first off, I know I'm going to harp on this. If you asked me in my 20s, what was mindset compared to strategies and tactics, I would have said, I don't need no mindset. I'm freaking a hustler. Give me the way to make money and I'll go all in. I would have said, Cody, I would bet you agree with me. Pace, same thing. At 22, I would have said 2% mindset, 98%. Give me the freaking plan.
All day. I would have said 100%, bro. Give me the work boots.
Right. I'm a freaking warrior. Give me the freaking path. I will crush it. Anybody in my way, I'll mow them down. Like that's how I would have felt.
If you said mindset to me, I'd say, what's that?
Yeah.
Yeah. At 53, and I've been blessed to have a little bit of success in my life and do beyond anything I joke, but and beyond anything I ever could have imagined at this phase in my life. I would say it's 90. It is 90-10. But it's 90% mindset, 10% the capabilities to do it. Because what stops most people? Listen, if you're watching right now and you're not at the level of success that you want, can we be really honest? If you're following Pace, you're following Cody, you have the opportunity to gain capabilities to thrive in real estate. You know what screwed you up, what's tripped you up, what stopped you is a belief that you have, a story you have, feeling like an imposter. I'm not good enough. You're setting expectations too small. You're afraid to dream. You're focusing on what went wrong, who let you down. You're focusing on the money. Like in your heart of hearts, and if you're in your 20s, you might even be saying to me, whatever, Dean, you're rich now. I get it. I would have said the same exact thing. I'm going to tell you, focus on your inner game. I don't care if that's listening to Tony Robbins, to Pace, to Cody, to a book that inspires you, to a podcast that lights you up. I'm telling you, the news and people around you will get you to play 10% smaller. And if you're playing 10% smaller, if you don't protect your confidence, you will coast and try to make it. And you'll wonder why you're running on a treadmill. You'll wonder why other people get ahead. Listen, Pace, you said something when we had the chance to have a podcast. You didn't release that podcast yet, did you? Or did
No, sir, I have not.
Okay. I can't wait for people to see it. It was a great conversation. We got to know each other better. It was so awesome. But I said something. I've always worked on my mindset. The fact of the matter is I spent a lot of years in a relationship. I went through a divorce, and I'm not an advocate of divorce, but I did. And we were great friends and great co-parents, but we were just missing something. You want to talk about a mindset shift? I worked on my mindset every day of my life since I was 26 years old. I listened to an hour of an audio about mindset every day. Not some days, hear me, every day, 7 days a week. I spent an hour listening to an audio. I had made more money than I ever dreamt possible. I had 2 amazing kids, but I was in a relationship that was a little off. So still, though my mindset was good, though I was solid, can we just be honest? I wasn't totally congruent. You know, when you say like things look decent in public, but you're still like, you know what I'm talking about. I went through a divorce, one of the toughest times ever. I was worried about my kids. I made a decision to become a better man, to work on my mindset even more, to work on that 90% even more. I wanted to attract the most amazing human to be my partner in my life. And I realized I had to be a better man. I got a life coach. I got a love coach. I went all in on self-education. I realized what was holding me back. And 5 years ago, I met the love of my life after going through that transition. You think mindset is it? Since that was 5 years, I thought I was doing good. Since I'm congruent, since my mindset is aligned. In the last 5 years, I've made more money in the last 5 years than the other 48 combined, maybe times 2. I'm happier than I've ever been. I feel younger than I've been. I'm in the best shape I've ever been. I could run a mile faster than I've ever done because my mindset is a different place. So if you don't think when a war comes, when a shift comes, when ugly comes, when a winter comes, if you don't think your mindset is the foundation for all of it, then maybe today this is the reason you're here. I'm going to encourage you, strengthen your mind, and then gain the capabilities, and nothing will stop you because most people are going to get scared. Most people are going to sit on their hands. So I don't want to beat that up anymore because you guys had enough of that, but I'm just encouraging that. Anything before I move on there, Cody?
No, I mean, I was around when you were going through that transition. I was watching you have just these insane panic attacks, trying to process through it. And I also know you today, and it's night and day difference. It really is. It's inspirationally night and day difference too. It just goes to show you with the right people. Like for me, it's always exposure. Like I don't walk around going, oh, I really need to work on my mindset. But then I get proximity to somebody like you and I watch the work that you're putting in and I get exposed to a new set of principles, a new standard, a new way of operating software. And I'm like, oh,
Cody, let me ask you something. Pace, you and I are just becoming friends, and I'm really grateful that you're in my life. I mean that. You're a solid human. I see
Thank
how
you.
much you care about your students. I know why you have 2,800 people on here, because I see your depth of caring. Cody, I've known you longer. When I get the chance to see you, Cody, do I ever ask you how much money you're making? What did I say to you when I saw your event? I pulled you to the side. Do you remember what I asked you, or what I told you?
Yeah.
I said, Cody, I see you shifting. I can see you evolving as a evolving your thoughts, evolving what you're doing, because I know that if that keeps growing, Cody, if you get more aligned with who I know you're destined to be, and this is not me preaching like I'm perfect. I have a long way to go, but I'm proud of you, the man you are. I'm proud of your evolution. And I guarantee the more that you evolve in that direction, I guarantee the byproduct is more money's coming in, more confidence coming in. You have the ability to take uncomfortable action. When others are afraid and scared, you're hungry, you're going, you're secure. And I'm watching that. And I don't want to go too deep on that. I just want to share whatever you think your mindset is worth for your future. Maybe just double it. Maybe go up 10% and give it a shot.
I love it. So being around Tony, like you've evolved. I mean, you were so big in real estate, and then later on, the first course you ever bought, you're now partners with Tony Robbins, right? So like when you guys are sitting around talking and planning and strategizing and thinking about the next 5 years, like where are you guys at, and what are some of the things you're thinking about?
Yeah, really great question. First off, I feel fortunate for that, that Tony and I get to be friends, and he's got access to so many cool people. I thought I had great connections. I get to be friends with Tony. You get access to some really cool people. And if you listen to someone like Ray Dalio, who's probably one of the smartest people I've ever had the opportunity to learn from, you get a little scared on where things are going, right? And this could be longer than usual. And I don't want to scare everybody. If you look over since the beginning of America, there's been, I think, 28 recessions or depressions since the beginning of time. And the average they last is 18 months. So just know that, everybody, right? Tony's words, don't make things worse than they are. Don't make them better than they are, but see them as they are and anticipate and prepare. So in this 18 months, though, this is a time where you really can gain an unfair advantage, right? So what do we talk about? Tony and I talk about giving people capabilities, let them see through the future, let them see where they want to go. I have to be honest with you, Cody. I'm at a place where I feel really blessed, especially the last 5 years, has set me up in a place where, if I didn't want to work again, and I bet you too either, I don't have to. Tony doesn't have to. But being in proximity of Tony, a lot of what we share, he's helped me evolve my thinking that we're put on this earth for two reasons: to grow and to impact others, right? And when you really think about that, it's growth and contribution. I think we all know people who've sold their businesses, got plenty of money in the bank, and were miserable for 20 years, ended up getting divorced, ended up going through really tough times, depression, angst. So the money's not the thing. It's the money. And I am not saying money's not valuable. Money solves problems. Money allows you to impact others and do all that. But we've got to this point where when you get in a mindset of growth and contribution, impacting others while you're making money, man, it just changes the game. Like right now, Tony is doing his Unleash Your Power Within, UPW. He's done it for 42 years. We were on the phone Wednesday night talking like it was the first time he's ever done it. He does it 3 times a year, 4 times a year for 40 years. And it's almost exactly the same. And he's like, brother, people need this right now. This is what they're going through. They're in the mindset right now that uncertainty is so strong. They don't even realize that they're sitting in their chair waiting for someone to fix it. And this is our conversation. He's like, nobody's fucking coming. I have to get them out of their fucking, excuse my language. I have to get them out of their skin. I have to get them uncomfortable to know that they can take action, that they're stronger, they're better. And I'm not exaggerating. This is our conversation, Tony and I, Wednesday night. He's like, I need them to be so uncomfortable with sitting in their seat doing nothing, because I don't care if they give me credit, because it's not really me, it's them. I just want to spark them. I'm sorry, I'm going on a rant here, but that's our conversation. When you get that fired up about changing things and making an impact, the byproduct is your success gets to grow. So there's a lot of things I could share, Cody and Pace.
I love that, man. I love
that.
That
Made me want to get out of my chair
I was
right now.
Ready to go. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, and right now, yesterday, I watched half of yesterday, and I'm live tomorrow or the next day, but I watched Tony yesterday, and I'm partners with Tony, and I'm CEO and president of Tony's company as well. Only temporarily, I'm in there helping him shift. He went from in-person to virtual. But I have to tell you, he's my brother. We talk every single night. Like there's not a day we don't go by. We either leave voice memos or talk. I watched him yesterday, and I watched him do the best presentation of his entire life yesterday. I'm not kidding you. 42 years of doing almost the same thing, but in his heart, he knows it's time to serve. It's time to grow. People need me. And the reason I'm sharing that, you're probably like, well, that's great for Tony Robbins. That's great. What's this got to do with me? The reason I'm sharing that with you is because what Tony and I have been doing together, one of our main company that we own together, is showing people how everybody watching, has the opportunity to do that in your own way, to share your experience, your life story, your mess that becomes a message, your skill, hobby, passion, expertise. You have that opportunity today more than ever to make an impact on others. And I know that's a big transition right now. You guys are the real estate guys now, and that was my world for 20 years, right? And I'm so glad that you guys are sharing and helping. And Pace, thank you for sharing that beautiful story you did on your podcast. I'm gonna leave that as an open loop. You want to hear a story that blew me away that I had no idea? Pace shared something with me that filled my heart, gave me goosebumps when we were on the doing the podcast together. But one of our big missions this year is to show people during a recession, especially, that they should be selling what they know. And right now, as I say that, some of you are thinking, what the hell does that mean? Or, I'm not Cody. I'm not Pace. I'm not Dean. I'm not an expert. I haven't made millions of dollars. Like, I think we get trapped in that small thinking. And if you guys are cool with it, I'd love to transition into talking about an opportunity where you should see where the puck is going, where you should at least investigate.
I think people are waiting for it. I'm looking at the comments. People are like, tell me how to do this.
Yeah. So I'm going to give you a little backstory, and I'm not, am I taking too long here, you guys? If this is
no, we're on your time, dude. This whole thing was set up to listen to you. So,
all right. So I want to share something with you guys. In when I was 26 years old, real estate saved my life. Not a joke. I started buying rundown houses. My first one I got when I was 17, 19. Pace, you shared the one that I got. I think I was 21 or 22. Mary Lopresti. I had to be creative.
He bought a whole auto body shop with units up above with nothing down but a hug.
I love that story.
It was a hug.
My favorite. Yeah.
Yeah. And when you don't have anything but a hug, then you get creative. That's about all I had back there was a hug. But real estate saved my life. And I had real estate. I ended up having about 25 apartments, which cash flowed really well for me back then because I started with nothing, owed hardly anything on. Then I started flipping houses. Then I started buying raw land and subdividing while I had a collision shop and bought a tow truck. And I'm hustling. I'm a broke kid running away from the trailer park, running away from my parents' 9 marriages, and just wanted security and control of my life. And then I'm up late one night and I watched Tony Robbins, and he's with Tom Selleck, or I think it was Tom Selleck. That's how long ago it was, interviewing him. Some of you don't even know who Tom Selleck is, just big mustache. Just remember that. And I'm like, I'm going to buy this. I'd never read a book in my life up to that point. That's a true story. I'd never bought anything. And when I bought that course, some of the things I'm sharing with you today are probably ingrained in me because of that. I bought this course. And I remember when I bought it, my dad's like, you did what? And I bought every upsell. I bought Power Talk and all these things. And I paid like $397. And my dad's like, are you effing crazy? You paid a guy who's going to talk to you. I'll talk to you for free, And long story short, I got Tony's audios. It was Personal Power. And I devoured it was so long ago. It was like the Sony Walkman with the big old cassette player on the side of my hip. And I walked every day and I listened to those tapes. And 2 things happened to me. And I'm sorry, I got to go back and tell the whole story before I come into what I want to share with you guys. But I think it's really important to understand I realized from what Tony taught me, some of the things I shared with you today, but that life happened for me. The craziness I had with my dad, and I had a bleeding ulcer at 12 years old because my dad was a little insane, but he was the youngest at 12 and was physically abused. He was sexually abused, and he just never worked on that. So he took it out on me and my sister. And that's why he was married a lot. And all this craziness was going on. And all of it, I thought it was like, I'm making it in spite of that pain. And Tony made me realize I was making it because of that. I went from resenting my childhood to thanking my childhood. I went from focusing on what was wrong to focusing on what was right. So many things shifted because that man shared something he knew, and he learned it from Jim Rohn, and Jim Rohn learned it from Mr. Chef, and Mr. Chef learned it from, like, we just learn it from other people, right? So I learned this from Tony, and all of a sudden I'm empowered. Hopefully, maybe you got a glimpse of it today. Even a glimpse, I'd be happy, right? If you got one thing today, that's my whole goal. Long story short, I shift that. But the second thing, more important, is I realized I paid Tony Robbins for information. Changed my life. He made money. And that day, literally, there was a day in probably 1997 that I decided I was going to go into this industry. I was going to sell what I know. And that shifted my life forever. Now, you got to understand something. I have a collision shop. I drive a tow truck at night. I'm working on apartments. I'm flipping houses. I am working 20-hour days. And now I'm going to go into I'm going to be Tony Robbins. You can imagine my family. My sister literally drove up from Virginia and sat me down like an intervention, like I was getting off crack. Like, you've done so well. The family's proud of you. You're not an educator. You're not Tony Robbins. You don't have money. You're not 6'7". Like, it's never going to happen. You're the craziest human on the planet. Stop it. Right. And of course I had self-doubt and I questioned myself. And listen, the world was different back then. There was no online. That dates me. There wasn't even MySpace. I had to build an infomercial and put product in inventory and get a call center. I was 200 grand in on credit cards and every dollar I had. So of course my sister's like, you're going to go broke. And long story short, I launched a course and I've been in this industry ever since, ups and downs. And now I get to be Tony's partner. But I realized in that moment, some of the things that I want to share with you today. I wasn't a multi-millionaire. I was on my way though. I was doing good. I didn't sell 500 houses. I sold 20 at the time. I didn't own 7,000 houses. I owned 15 at the time. But I was one chapter ahead of someone who never bought a house. Does that make sense? Sometimes in life, wouldn't you love to have someone a chapter ahead of you? And when you really narrow down what you do, I wasn't teaching people to buy multi-doors. I don't know what some of the stuff Pace does. I don't even know today some of the stuff Cody does. I wasn't the guy that bought multi-doors. I wasn't the type that bought $1 million deals down in New York City. I was really good at getting in houses with little or no money down, even your first one. And that was good enough for me. I helped people get in their first deal. That's how I started. And that evolved from nobody knowing my name to having a crazy New York accent, being broke, infomercial guy, to fast forward ups and downs. I got to be probably the #1 real estate educator in the world. I launched a book called Be a Real Estate Millionaire. It sold 1 million copies. I don't think any other real estate book in history has sold 1 million copies. I sold 1 million copies of that book. From a dyslexic kid who lived in a trailer park, I realized that I had a gift for that one thing. So fast forward to today. Tony and I become friends a decade ago. And every time we're together, we're talking about how self-education saved our lives, meaning he learned from Jim Rohn. I learned from him. It shifted our lives. This was an industry that was kind of like, people are in it, people weren't. Now it's an industry. 5 years ago, it was $100 million a day industry. Right now, it's $1 billion a day industry. About $340 billion this year is going to be equated to self-education, learning from other people. And what they're saying is this industry will be $1 trillion a year by 2028. And what is this industry? It's people. It's not just Pace or Cody or Dean Graziosi or Tony Robbins. It's regular people realizing that you have a life experience, a skill, a hobby, a passion, an expertise that could be a course, could be a workshop, it could be a weekend training, it could be a monthly training, it could be a coaching program, it could be an ebook. And Tony and I, when we realized this, we got together and said, Let's start showing people what we've learned over a combined 65 years in this industry and show you how to bolt this on your industry, how to identify what it is you should be selling, how to package it, how to sell it, and how to create revenue online selling what you know. And that's what we launched about 4 years ago, and it's become a movement. It's unbelievable. Last year we decided to teach people for free for 5 days. We called it the Own Your Future Challenge. We put 950,000 people in this challenge. It was unbelievable. We get to do that again this year. We're doing the Time to Thrive Challenge to show people that your greatest asset actually lives in here. Last thing I'll say, and then I'd love some feedback, guys, and making sure I'm hitting the mark here. Go ahead, Cody.
How does what you said, Time to Thrive Challenge, right?
Yep.
So, and that's a 5-day challenge.
Yep.
Okay. And I want to invite people to it. You know,
yeah.
There's a lot of people that
here's what I'll tell you. Here's what I'll tell you. Before you're done today, when you're on, I see there's 2,257 people. I'm going to look to make sure 2,255 people, 57 people registered. I'm going to give you a URL. It's called Thrive255.com. Write that down. Put it in the chat. If you guys don't mind, Chris and Lucia and Ken.
How do we spell that? Thrive, the number 2.
THRIVE 255.com. Thank you, Bianca. Thank you, Isaiah. Thank you, Nina. Thank you, Kent. Thank you, Morgan, Elena. Thrive255.com. Not right now. When you're done here, go register. It's Tony Robbins and I for 5 days. We invited some friends like Russell Brunson and Jenna Kutcher. We even got Matthew McConaughey coming and Brendan Bouchard, some other people. But our whole 5 days is focused. It's not just the celebrity power. Tony and I are blessed to have really deep friends who are hell-bent on serving, to show you in day 1, why this, why you, why now. By day 2, we'll show you how to identify what you should be selling, how you should bolt this on your current company, how you sell a digital product. Day 3, we'll show you how to elegantly sell it through service. Day 4, how to build an audience. I know what you're thinking. I'm not an expert. Who would listen to me? I'm an introvert. I have no followers. No one knows my name. I get all that. I promise you we'll squash that. That's how 90% of the people are starting today. And day 5, we'll wrap it all together. Like, this is 5 days for free because we know the world needs it. Listen, here's an absolute fact. Tony's got a waiting list of people that want to pay him $1 million a year to be a consultant. And I'm not saying this to be a jackass. 4 weeks ago, someone paid me $250,000 for a day's worth of consulting, 6 hours, $250,000, but I know I made him $10 million. I'm not saying it to be a jackass. I'm saying it because we are doing free, all in 2 to 3 hours a day, immersive training to show you what you need to know to be a part of this industry. And we'd love for you to stay with us. We'd love for you to learn from us. But it is an amazing opportunity.
Here's the question. Mike says, have you read Green Lights? And I looked at Green Lights, and I think that that's kind of a self-education type of play with.
It's the reason. It's the reason. Green Lights is in my top 10 favorite books, especially Matthew McConaughey reading it. Did you read it, Cody, or listen to it?
I read it and listened to it.
Oh my God, that voice!
Good.
So I listened to it and fortunately had a connection to him. I got him on the phone. I'm like, dude, you're in my industry now. You're in Tony's industry. You went from acting. Now you're in the self-education industry. Would you come be a part of our challenge? So he's coming on day 4 and he is stoked. So it's going to be pretty amazing.
So you're going to have Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
On the free challenge.
On the free challenge. Dope. Yeah. Pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Tony and I are going to be interviewing him. So,
and I think just something fun that Pace and I will do, just because I believe I watched you do this the last few years. And the reason I like something like this right now is because the way the market's shifting. I think a lot of people just need to think about what are other ways I can create some money right now? What are some ways I can create some income and get some more stability? Because that's what you got to do. You got to, I mean, even if you're in real estate, there's other things that you have in your life. If it's not real estate, there's other skills. You might be great at guitar. Teach people how to play guitar.
Yeah,
One of my best students was a guitar player, and he only does real estate because he's so passionate about, he wants to play guitar and not worry about money. And
well, I love it. And here's what I want to say. I still do real estate every single day. I sold 3 houses yesterday, right? Real estate's still my life, and self-education is by far the thing that fills my heart the most and has made me the success that I've had, right? I've been blessed to make an insane amount of money from real estate. But self-education, what I love about it, and you could call it e-learning, self-education, upskill industry, information age, selling a digital product, course creator, coach, whatever you want to call it, there's nothing been more fulfilling. I mean, if I ask you guys right now, both of you could list hundreds in your head, but has anything been more rewarding knowing? I mean, Pace, when I met you, right? Cody, I've been blessed to watch you change lives for a long time. I met Pace within 15 minutes. He's like, you know what's been amazing to me? Did you know over 1,000 people just watching our YouTube videos have quit their job to be in real estate? That wasn't like, ha, ha, ha. It was more like his heart was speaking. Is there anything more rewarding than delivering people?
Even in the if we ask in the comments, how many people's lives have been changed by what Cody Sperber and I have done? And honestly, it's been the torch that was passed down to us from Dean Graziosi. It's one of the things I told him the other day, like him cutting through the jungle with a machete and showing us what this looks like. Like, guys, look in the comments, Dean, how many people you have impacted, like by passing the torch on to us through self-education.
No, and I appreciate it. That was,
and I'd like to just say, anybody who registers for the free challenge, I'm down to throw in some fun goodies just to help, motivate people to go, show up, and sit through the whole thing, because I know it's going to be super powerful and impactful. I'm down to throw in some stuff.
Me too. I've got a question for you though, because I'm sitting here thinking there's people that might not come from Cody's world, my world. There's some people that kind of trickled in through maybe an email blast or something like that. What if they say, I have nothing to offer? There's no reason I should be in the self-education business.
I love that question. That's my favorite. I got a good answer for that. So here's what I'm going to show. I'm going to watch the chat. I need you guys to light the chat up. Will you do me? You got 200 people on here. Light the chat up. If you had a week to prepare, really think about this. You had 1 week to prepare. And you know what we were preparing for? Because you were going to go back and you were going to be able to spend 1 day with your 20-year-old self to teach your 20-year-old self anything you wanted. Here's the question I want to ask in the chat. How much would that be worth to you if you could spend a day with your 20-year-old self?
Everything.
Priceless, everything. Priceless, priceless, everything, everything, priceless. Here's the thing you got to realize. What you're thinking about love in your life, what you're thinking about the business you would do, like really think about what you would teach, the health you would share, the inner peace that you would want, or you don't have to rely on a man or don't have to rely on a relationship, like all the things you're thinking about. Look at the priceless, everything, life-changing. Somebody else needs your information as much as your 20-year-old self is. That's how valuable it is. And when you really understand that this is your asset, that your experience, that someone else is starting off where you once were, even if you're a chapter ahead. Listen, when I went through a divorce, I found someone who wasn't a therapist, wasn't registered, someone who went through the experience and they were happy on the other side. And I paid them to help me find love in a different way, to look at things through a different frame. The world has realized that we don't want to go back to school. We don't want to get a general knowledge. We don't want to try to learn our own. We want to find someone who's just already experienced what we have and they're on the other side of where we want to go. And the last thing I'll say, I've been trying not to say too much, Pace, if you noticed, that we said in our podcast, because I want everybody to listen to your podcast because I think it was amazing and I didn't want it to be redundant. But I'll say one thing I know I said in the podcast. If you watched Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger about 4 or 5, maybe 6 weeks ago now, with their yearly, presentation to the world, yearly address to the world, and I'd say they're pretty good. They're sitting on 160 billion in cash right now, and they're doing okay. You can live on that, I guess, right? And they said during a recession, during inflation, there's 2 things you should do. Number 1, and hear me on this, and maybe if we end here, if it's time to go, I don't want to keep you guys all night here. But number 1, invest in yourself. If you're going to do something, get better than everybody else. What Buffett said is, if we're paying in Reichmarks, in seashells, or deflated dollars, if you're better, if you invest in yourself and get better, you will command more of the pie for yourself. Simple as that. You'll get more seashells. You get more Reichmarks. You get more money if you're better. Invest in yourself is number 1. You guys are here. You follow Pace or Cody. You're already investing in yourself. You're already way above the world, right? Than those trying to figure it out on their own or sitting on their hands freezing. He said number 2 is start or be in a business or invest in a business that has higher margins. Because if you have lower margins, supply chain, inventory costs go up. How many businesses are going to die because their costs are going to go up and there's not enough margin in between, right? So when I hear that, it's one of the main reasons Tony and I are doing this 5-day challenge again for free, which you could pay $5,000 for. Wait till you go. You'll lose your mind that we're doing this for free. I mean that. You will absolutely lose your mind. No matter if you decide you don't want to be in this industry, you need to be there anyway because it'll empower you in a way you can't imagine. But just think about selling information, selling your life experience, what Cody does, what Pace does, what I do, what Tony does. But it's not us anymore. It's the average person doing it. You don't have to inventory it. You could sell it over and over again. It impacts people's lives. Look what you guys wrote about what these guys did for you. You get to change lives with your life experience. You don't have to worry about supply chain. You don't have to air condition it. You don't have to freeze it. You don't have to heat it. Nothing. You get to sell it over and over. The margins are massive. You get to impact others and create success. And it's an industry, while the economy might be in its winter, this is an industry in its springtime heading towards $1 trillion a year. So what I'd say is, first, the inner game, work on your mindset, get strong, get empowered, thrive, have a thrive mindset, not a survive mindset. That's the inner game. The outer game, be an investigative reporter, see where the puck is going. And what I'd suggest is thrive255.com. Just come show up and be an investigator, dabble and see what we're doing, and either be inspired and say, that was cool, not for me, or be inspired to say, heck yes, I want to be in that. That's why we're doing it. And we'd love to have you as our guest.
Wow. I got a couple questions for you because guys, give this man some love. Roxanne says right here on the stage, she says, Dean, I feel like I know what I know, but I don't know how to teach it to the masses. Is that something that you guys are going to actually be teaching and educating people on in this challenge, or just more about what we just talked about?
Yeah, no, you just got to figure that crap out. No, of course, that's exactly what it is. Like, it's our job. Listen, remember this line for the rest of your life. It's our job to slay other people's dragons, right? Some of you have a dragon that's like, oh, I don't know anything. I'm not that smart. I don't have anything to share. Or, oh my God, I'm an introvert. How could I teach it? Or nobody knows my name. How do I find them? That's our whole goal. And the reason we invited the people we invite, let me just tell you, day one, it's Tony Robbins and myself. Tony's day one. I'm saying, if you miss Tony's day one for free, when the guy's got a waiting list for $1 million a year, if you miss day one, you're absolutely insane. I will watch every second of that. I'll be fired up. I'll take 10 pages of notes. He will light you up to where you are shaking. But when I'm done, I'll open Tony, and then Jenna Kutcher will come on. Jenna Kutcher used to work in a cubicle after going to school, got a great job at Target, and corporate America freaked out one day and said, I can't do it. Bought a camera off of eBay and started the wedding photography business. Within 3 years, she was doing pretty well. Then after 3 years, she said, I could either be in the wedding business or I could teach other women how to be in the wedding business. I don't know if you've seen Jenna right now. This is a Midwest amazing young woman who now has the #1 marketing podcast in the world. There's no boys beating her. It's called Gold Digger. She just launched her book. It's a #1 New York Times. It's a New York Times bestseller. It's a #1 Amazon seller. She is absolutely crushing it. This simple, amazing girl. But she's not going to come on and say, look what I've done. She's going to show you how she took wedding photography and turned it into this unbelievable business and show you the process. Day two.
Dean, on that, just real quick, I've got Shelly, who has maybe a similar mindset that Jenna might have had back in the day before Jenna, took off. She said, I love teaching, but I feel like I don't have anything worth teaching from my own talents, which is stupid because I know I do. Mindset is huge. I'm working on it. So what day are you going to teach people that part?
Day two. Day two, I will show you how to identify what it is you should be teaching. This sounds silly. You could call it a niche. I call it a dot. I'm going to shrink it down to this tiny dot. And when it gets so small, you realize, oh my God, I could teach that. And the smaller the dot, the higher the confidence. But in today's world, that dot could still be millions and millions of people. So just think of day two. When you're done with day two, you go, oh, I know what the hell I'm going to teach. Like, here's my goal. Do you know what my goal is? I'm on vacation. I'm chill today. Here's my goal. I want people to start like day two going, I don't think I could do that. I'm not sure. This is how I picture people. I don't think that'll work.
You want people to be like that.
Yeah. Day one, as they start. But here's what I know by the end of day one. Day two, they're like, oh, well, I could do that. Shit. Yeah, I could do that. But day three, no, I don't know how to sell it. And then we get to day three and I show you how to market and sell it. And I think when we start, you're going to be like, all right, I know this is the right industry. Tony got in my mindset. I know what I'm going to sell. I know who I'm going to sell to, but I could never sell it. That's what I can't do. And then by the end of day 3, you're like, well, shit, I could do that. But I don't have a following. Then we go into day 4. And by the time you're day 4, you're going to be like, oh my God, I could do that. And by the end of day 5, you're going to be like, I could do this whole damn thing. That's our goal. We've been doing it for 65 years. I'll challenge you to prove me wrong. Show up. Thrive255.com. Show up and prove me wrong.
Who else is? So we got Jenna Kutcher.
Yeah, day 2 will be Alex Hermosi, because I like how he's crushing it right now.
Yeah.
And he's become a real good friend. He's so smart. He's got a story he's going to share. And listen, literally all morning we were texting about, this is not, listen, we don't just throw this together. Can you imagine what it's like to put 1 million people together, customer service 1 million people, put the right friends of ours and people we know together to have a through line that gets you what you need. This is not a 5-minute thing we put together. Like, our company is like frozen for 3 months putting this together. So day 2 is Glow Atanmo. She's a dear friend. She's amazing. She's now traveling the world doing incredible things. Her parents were from Africa. She came here, had insecurity, self-doubt, imposter syndrome, and now she's absolutely crushing. She's so beautiful inside and out. She's going to blow your mind. And Alex Hermosi. Day 3, of course, is me. And then Brendan Burchard and Russell Brunson talking about how to turn selling into service so you never sell again a day in your life. Day 4, I have Rachel Miller. She's a mom of 6 who was struggling in 1 million different ways, and she is absolutely killing it online. Built this following online when no one knew her name. She's killing it in our industry. And Matthew McConaughey. And we got some surprise guests coming on day 5. Blow your mind.
That's so awesome. So they go to the link, they register, it kicks off in 18 days from now. Yep. And then you go for 5 days straight. I mean, it's pretty simple. So I'm down to throw in some courses, or something.
Well, we told everybody that I would do the Gator stuff.
All right. So do the Gator thing. I'll throw in my free house formula. Everybody who goes, registers, and shows up and completes the challenge, we'll throw in some extra little goodies for you guys.
A couple of things. Your goodies are priceless, especially to this audience. So thank you for that. I mean it, guys. And thank you for spending this time. Yes, I'm on vacation, but you guys didn't have to do this. You don't have to support me. I'm so grateful to these 2 men for putting us on here today, because Tony and I, we have a big goal here. We want to put 1 million people in. We want to show people that they don't have to just be in a survive mindset, that you could actually thrive. And it's our goal. I hope you can hear it in my heart. I don't have to do any of this. I love doing it. I want to do it. I want to crush this. I play like I'm 10 points down. I play like I'm going to fail. So that's how I approach stuff. Somebody, with more emotional intelligence might say, hey, by now you should not, but I do. And we're going all in. But I want to tell you a couple things we're doing this year that we've never done before. And I truly believe this is our last year. It's a lot to put on. Tony's crazy busy, my schedule. This is probably our last year doing this. All the speakers are hell-bent on coming, but starting day 2, day 3, day 4, and day 5, every day, we're going to pick someone who's on live to be a partner of Tony and I's, and we're going to help you launch your course. We're going to email to our list. We're going to launch your course, give you the headline. We're going to pick a partner every day. For day 2, 3, 4, and 5, we are going to pick a partner to help you launch your course to the world. And I don't know if you know what our email list looks like. I think you'd kind of want to be a part of that.
Yeah. That's amazing.
That is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I would. You know what? It's one of those things I wish someone would have picked me a few years ago, maybe 25 years ago. That would have been heaven.
You can't fail at that point.
What I love about this is that there's people out there that you guys are going to slay their dragons. But more importantly, this is something that's not going to cost anybody any money, right? Like, in terms of creating this and being part of the challenge, this is a free challenge.
Yeah, just so you know, it's not kind of free. It's totally free. But I'm going to be really transparent. Everybody can come for free. Go register. Go to the page. You'll see there's no hidden link. And everybody who registers, just so you know, every person who opts in, we're donating a meal through Feeding America. So if we do 1 million opt-ins, we'll do 1 million meals. That's right. Sick. So every meal, we cut a check for every opt-in, not spending $1, free. When you say I'm registered, we trigger a meal to Feeding America.
I'm doing this challenge.
Yeah, I'm in.
And then secondly, though, what I'd say is watch the next video of Tony and I. It's 2.5 minutes long. If you guys want to upgrade to VIP, It's last year, it was literally $197. This year we dropped it. This is Tony's suggestion. He doesn't care about finances. It's $47. If you want, you're already in for free. You watch YouTube, you're in Facebook, you're in. If you upgrade to VIP, it just means you're on Zoom rather than YouTube or Facebook. You get to keep the training for life. There's a special training that starts. We do some extra Q&A after the events. That's your choice. If you're like me and want to go all in, I just want to be really transparent. When you click and register for free, there's no cost, not $1. You're in, you get to watch everything. If you want to upgrade for $47, that's your option. I would watch the video just to see if that's for you. That's it. There's no other, there's zero anything else. The second video is all your confirmation and everything that you'll learn, like dates, time. Join the Facebook group. I'm already doing pre-event trainings in the Facebook group.
Wow. Dean, you've done a ton for us tonight. You've been with us for over an hour on your vacation.
Really? Wow.
Yes, brother, you are amazing. Who has enjoyed this enlightenment? Give us some emojis. Dean can see it on the screen. Give us some comments.
Thanks, guys.
I also am running a poll. I'm curious who's going to join us in this free challenge. I want to see this, guys. Click on the poll. Dean, do we have time for one question from the audience?
I do.
Oh my gosh. All right.
This is for you guys. You've been awesome to me, both of you. And Pace, I'm glad Cody connected us, man. Seriously.
Same here. Thank you. All right, a lot of people saying registered. Guys, who's registering? Put it in the side chat. I want to count it up because Cody's gonna have to give away a lot of free stuff.
I like that. Yeah, please make Cody give away a lot. That would make me happy
honestly,
tonight.
I mean, Dean's changed my has probably, like, you know, like how I've been kind of helping behind the scenes puppeteer a lot of stuff with you. Dean's done that with me kind of behind the scenes. My speaking game, my stage game, my video presence, everything changed when I started doing things around Dean and studying what Dean does. It was like really one of those ones that like forced me to level up. And so just being able to throw events with Dean or hang out kind of backstage with Dean or go to different things with Dean, hit introductions and stuff, it's been a game changer. So I always feel obligated to step up and serve. And knowing that now, even I didn't even know you were donating to Feeding America. I mean, like, even that alone, like, I'm going to register. I'm going to go through the entire challenge, and I'm going to email my entire community and just invite them to come along with me. So,
hey, Cody, I gotta be honest though. Tony and I can't pick you as a partner, brother.
I'm really hoping that I'm the one.
Cody Sperber, day 2. It's like, yes.
Wouldn't that be great?
Oh my God.
People would feel so ripped off.
They would hate on me. I would get so hated on.
A couple of questions. So how do we redeem the goodies? So Cody and I are going to throw some cool stuff together. We'll give you guys a list. We'll email it out to everybody that registers. I think you and I should spend some time maybe over dinner and go, what are we willing to give to people to encourage them and elevate them to another level?
I'm down.
I say we email everybody that registers for the challenge. Here's what we're willing to get. And guys, we'll have your email at that point because it'll be there, right? So we'll make sure we connect you with that. Couple of stuff. People ask, what's your favorite Tony Robbins book? I'm curious. What is your favorite Tony Robbins book?
Awaken the Giant Within is probably I mean, I just like the old school stuff. Here's the thing. If it's health, you got to go with Life Force. I mean, here's the cool thing about Money Master the Game and Life Force. This is the prime example, and I want you to hear this. When Tony started, Tony wasn't Tony Robbins. Tony worked for Jim Rohn, and when Tony started, he used to share Jim Rohn's stuff. If you don't know who Jim Rohn is, he's an older personal development guy. I've listened to every single thing Jim Rohn has ever produced. Tony went to his event, paid $47, shifted his life like Tony did for me, and he started teaching Jim Rohn stuff. If you look at Money Master the Game, and this is another strategy I want you all to hear, Tony is the reporter of other people's knowledge. Money Master the Game is the #1 investment strategy book of our time. It's sold more than any other book. Tony's not the real estate. He's not the investment guy. He doesn't claim to be. He's good with his finances, but he went and interviewed other people that were really smart with how to invest your money and created the #1 investing book of our generation. Life Force is out right now. #1 New York Times bestselling author. First 2 weeks, I think it sold 300,000 copies. Tony's not a doctor. He's not a guy about Life Force. He went and interviewed the top health professionals, finding innovative ways to live longer, be healthier. And he's been the reporter of other people's knowledge. So one thing you got to realize is that if you feel I don't have anything, which I think you're wrong, but even if you feel like you don't, there's a lot of people being the reporter of other people's knowledge, getting you in the game. You know what Tony said? The best thing he ever said when we were live once. He said, when you learn to play the piano, how do you start? You play other people's stuff. And then when you play other people's stuff long enough, you learn how to play your own.
Wow. Dean, what are you looking for in the people you pick for a partner?
People who show up, play full out, and are there live. That's really what we're looking for. We're looking for people who come, they feel passionate about it, they share. This is after we go through day one, the reason we were doing it, after we go through day one and then go through day two, and we describe right mindset and what you should be sharing, people say, I'm going to teach people to go vegan. I'm going to teach people to get through a divorce. I'm going to people just sell better or fly fish or do hair extensions. Like someone who has, this is who I want to teach, and they're playing full out and they're live. My team will go through and we'll probably end up randomly picking people out of a bucket that fit that criteria.
Yeah. What I love about that, I was actually talking, I've just thought of this. I was talking to a couple at the gym, and she found out I was in online education. She said, what do you do? I said, I'm in real estate, online education, software, that kind of stuff. She goes, I'm in online education. I said, oh, cool. What do you do? She goes, I'm great at baking. And I started selling my recipes, and I teach people online how to bake like cupcakes and cookies and stuff. You should try my cookies. And I'm like, and then her man was like, she doesn't kind of sell cupcake and cookie videos. She's, she's the number one breadwinner in our house. And it was started off as a little hobby. So you really never know where your passion can actually take you, because she's kicking her husband's butt.
That's awesome. I love to hear that.
Dean, I've got a lot of people in the side chat saying that they registered for the VIP. It was like $47, which is amazing. What do you get with that $47?
You get, so just know, like I said, you get to be in Zoom rather than just on YouTube or Facebook. Again, YouTube, Facebook is great. You get to watch live, but this one you get to participate. You get to be in the Zoom so we could see your faces, Tony and I. Then at the end of every hour and a half or 2.5, the days Tony is on, it's going to be longer. It'll be 3-hour days. When we're done, it's shut off to the world. And then we do another hour and a half of Q&A. So we do hot seats. So you get to be in hot seats. You get to be in VIP.
Wait. You said you're doing hot seats?
Yeah, we do hot seats at the end of every. So if we go an hour and a half and then it's over,
it's like what you do.
I do that all the time. People say it's the most impactful thing I've ever done.
There's nothing better than hot seats. So everybody in VIP are the only ones that have access to the hot seats. And then at the end, you get to keep the course. For everybody else, the day, a couple days after we're done, it'll come off the internet. If you're in VIP, you get to keep the 5 days for life. We're going to donate an extra 50 meals to Feeding America. So literally you pay $47. We donate 50 meals to Feeding America. And I did a special jumpstart training specifically to get ready for the challenge that you get immediate access to. It's killer. If you liked what I shared today, it's pretty killer. And I think there's some other things too, but
here's a good question, guys. This comes up all the time. And I have to remind myself as somebody running these lives that you can never say the link only 1 to 2 times.
I know.
You have to repeat it.
Actually,
Dean, you know what we should do is we should ask everybody else that has the link to put it in the side chat. Guys, put the link in the side chat. Help out Eddie. There's people that come into these a little bit late because they might have just gotten off work. Everybody put the link in the side chat so we can fill that up. And yes, we will be emailing out this recording to everybody so you can replay it. If you guys jumped in at halfway through, anybody that registered for the air meet will, number one, get the slides that Cody presented. 2, you guys will get the recording. And guys, help each other out. It's super important that you guys are helping each other out in these comments and building community. And helping
share this link with your friends. Like if you know somebody that this might be interesting to, copy the link and send it to them.
Yeah, I was going to say 2 things. Here's what I'm going to tell you right now, only because I've been kind of doing this for a while. Number 1, you should trick your brain that you paid $1,000 for this. I'm not joking. In any other time in history, you'd pay $5,000, $1,000 for an event like this. But where the world is, it's free. So if you trick your brain that you paid $1,000, you'll show up and play full out. Sometimes when you don't pay, I think it was Zig Ziglar that said, people who don't pay attention, right? It's like, that free thing Tony and Dean are doing. Like, really think about that. That free thing. I'm not exaggerating. I get $250,000 for a day. If I do have time for consulting, I get $25,000 for an hour phone call. And I literally right now have a list of people that want to pay that. I'm not being a jackass. I'm just being honest. Tony has a list of people who want to give him $1 million a year. So I'm saying that to really anchor in that you should pretend you paid $1,000 for it, because then you'll show up with pen in hand in your journal. Number 2, you should take thrive255.com right this second. Type it, like literally grab your phone, go into the text, like start a new text and put thrive255.com. You should join me on this challenge, and then text it out to people that you care about. Text it to somebody you want to be your accountability partner. Like text it to them right now that they should go all in and do this with you, because it's, it's one of those things. And if you have somebody to do it with you, at least you got somebody to bounce off. Hey, my God, did you see what he said? Did you see? Are you going to do this? Are you going to do that? So I would suggest do both of those things right now.
I love it. Okay. Last question of the night. The question was, how do you get over the belief that you cannot do something like this?
Here's what I'd say. Come just watch Tony Robbins day one. I'm just being honest. He will squash it. In today's world, it's imposter syndrome, or I'm not good enough, or self-doubt, whatever you want to call it. It's fear. It's fear of not being good enough. The two human emotions, the deepest two human emotions are fear of not being good enough and fear of not loved. That's all life boils down to those two things. And when you gain the right capabilities in here to realize you are good enough, that you're exactly who you're supposed to be, that you're designed perfectly right where you are. When you feel that way, you become unstoppable in a new way.
Powerful.
There's nobody better to coach you through the fear than Tony Robbins. I mean, what a great answer. Yeah.
Dean, thank you, brother. You guys are awesome. Watching the chat. People are just lit up. We had over 2,000 people for the last 2 hours just loving this. I took down notes. I'm pumped. I'm excited. Dude, was there a moment where you wanted to get out of your chair and just go run through a wall?
Yeah, when he started going in. And it's funny. It's cool to watch when Dean gets passionate and really starts lighting up. It's like, oh, here we go. Here we go, baby. And I know you're going to be playing full out for the challenge. So
it's going to be amazing. Well, I appreciate you boys immensely. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. I know time is the most precious commodity we have in the whole world. So thanks for all of you playing full out. I see a couple thousand people hanging the whole time. So thank you. The challenge is going to be something really special, and we can't wait to see you there.
Amazing. Cool. Thank you, Dean.
You're the man.
Have a good night.
Thanks, guys.
Wow.
So you think we should give people some free stuff on top of that?
I think you should. Yeah. I mean, why not? Look, I like what he said by act as if you invested $1,000 so you'll show up. But I feel like your community has been there's such hardcore action takers. They're all going to show up. So I'm not too worried about that. I'd like to just reward people for being action takers. I'm down to throw in courses. It's easy for me to turn on a course. We can get a list of everybody who shows up. I
love it. Because here's the thing is with Gator training, I shut it off on June 1st. I shut it off, and I have had people since June 1st on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook groups, like, when are you going to open up? I'm like, we're not, it's closed. It's done. So what I'll do is I'll throw in Gator training for everybody that comes in, and it's,
you can't beat that. That alone would be worth it.
100%.
I'll throw in the free house formula.
Should Cody Sperber and I create an NFT and give it away?
Why are you enrolling me in your NFT?
You never know. Right. I might be able to convince him to do it, guys.
Should Pace do 100% of all the work and I just show up?
Yeah,
look like farm candy.
That's what it means to be a leader. Okay, so here you guys go.
What'd you guys think of that?
Yeah, give us out of 1 out of 10. How good was that? Did you guys get fired up?
Dude, I think we covered a lot too, because, we went into some mindset stuff, but we also talked some hardcore market stats. I feel like, it's going to be really important over the next few months for us to continue these kind of conversations. How do we make more money? How do we stay more focused? Right? And how do we squat up and surround ourselves with accountability partners and people that are leaning into this recession? Because there is no doubt it's happening. And I like what Dean said. Don't make it worse than it is. Don't make it better than it is, but it is what it is.
Right.
And a lot of you guys are probably newer and haven't lived through it. I remember the day when Lehman Brothers crashed and burned, and I had 18 escrows cancel in one day. I had 18 houses, wholesale deals in escrow. They all canceled the same day. I didn't know what was going on. I had never been through it before. The money had left the atmosphere. All smart money went to the sidelines and stayed there for like 8 months. And I knew something felt wrong, but I didn't understand it or how bad it was. And thankfully, unlike a lot of my friends who owned real estate with poor financial structures, hard money loans, got stuck in and back then, but believe it or not, hard money loans were all 18 to 20%. And they went bankrupt. And it's weird when you are making a lot of money and next thing you know, you work at Denny's. You're like just trying to survive. And so we're talking about, potentially a lot of people getting ran over by just a tsunami, but not the people in this room. And that's what Dean was talking about, is how cool would it be if you can actually see the wave coming and you knew how to surf. Right. You knew how to get out of the way. And so that's just, the preparation is everything.
I love these comments, man. People are fired up. I'm fired up. Who's going to the challenge? You say me.
Look, my mentor used to always say, people do not rise to the occasion. They fall to their highest level of preparation.
Oh, say that again.
People do not rise to the occasion. They fall to their highest level of preparation. And that's all this is. And this is why we wanted Dean on. This is why me and Pace were talking about this tonight, is just, how do you get prepared for a changing economy?
Wow, guys, I'm fired up. I feel like doing like a 30-hour live and just freaking calling sellers, locking up deals, doing all the things. Oh my gosh. All right, guys. We've been going 2 hours strong, 2 hours and 20 minutes. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Did everybody get the value? Did everybody feel like, man, this was amazing? I'm so glad I spent my Saturday or Friday night, 6:20. You could be on a date with your hot wife. I could be too, but we're here. In fact, I'm going on a date with my hot wife right now. Yeah. We're going to go get some Korean food and hang out. So it's going to be great. Maybe make baby number 4. Love you guys. This was amazing. I love the energy of the comments. I had a blast myself. This is so good. And Sperber finally came over to my house. Dude, how far is my house from your house?
It's far, but Pace lives in a nice house. Don't let him tell you Sperber's this, Sperber's that. Pace's house is a monster. It's absolutely massive. And the fact that you bought it on creative terms is the greatest part of this whole story. It is proof that you can buy a mega mansion in a great part of town. I think I drove by 4 tennis courts. I don't know how many. I lost count. I just kept driving by. Like, is this what you guys do all day? Just out there, just playing tennis, enjoying being super rich.
Oh, I love it. Guys, I'm excited. There's actually a lot of people in here that are my students that I look at. I'm like, a lot of these guys could actually go create courses on how to cold call, how to do this properly, how to go. Like, there's thousands of little pinpoints inside of real estate that these guys can go and girls can go and teach on just one little micro niche, right? The riches are in the niches. One thing that got me pumped up a couple of weeks ago, I'm up in Utah for 4th of July. We go up the canyon. We're hanging out with a bunch of buddies of mine from high school. And Jeremy Davis, actually one of my students, who's like, hey, can I come hang out with you? And I was like, yeah, let's freaking go. He comes up the canyon with me. One of my friends' wives has had 4 children. Jeremy Davis, my student and my friend, his wife is pregnant. So my buddy's wife, who's had 4 children, basically just hovered around schooling her. Yeah. And she's just sitting there absorbing this. And she walks away going, I learned more from her in like 2 hours than I did from like my own parents and everybody else around me. Like, this is what I needed. I needed somebody to get me through that next chapter and like understand that. And I'm sitting here listening to this. And I'm like, that is somebody that could put a course together, like how to be a first-time mother.
Easily. Well, think about this. My first big course in the real estate space, what happened by accident? Like true course. It was a product called the reverse short. It was the first course that popped, right? Mm-hmm. And it was called the reverse short sale.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Reverse short sale. Nobody had ever heard of a reverse short sale because I made it up. And I was just buying down at the auction, and I happened to be working lots of short sales on the side. I had a bunch of people hitting phones and negotiating short sales. I was doing loan mod, short sales, all this stuff. Well, every once in a while, a short sale, for whatever reason, the bank would not accept my offer. And so it would go to auction and it would sell at auction for significantly less than what my short sale offer was. And that's because they could not write it off the books. They had to go through the foreclosure process and let it come out the other end, even though they made way less money. It was really stupid, but it had to happen because of the way the deals were structured. And so one day I had all these buyers and stuff, looking to buy my short sales. They would get denied. So I just rolled down to the auction, used their money to buy the property, and then resold it to them for the exact same price they were trying to buy it before the auction happened. And I would create a spread. It was like this really simple little short sale hack. And so I just literally had, back then, they didn't even have cell phones with cameras. I had a flip camera. I don't know if you remember those, but was it a
Motorola Razr?
No, but it was like this thing called the flip. You guys remember the flip? If you're old, you remember the flip, where you literally hit a button, this little USB thing went boing, right? And that's how you plugged it. You plugged the camera into your computer.
Oh my gosh.
And so I had this flip camera, and I just recorded myself doing one single reverse short sale deal from the time that I set before the auction, going down to the auction, bidding, buying, a little bit of paperwork, and I called it the reverse short sale. And on a weekend, I wrote a little VSL, which is about a 10-minute pitch. I wrote it. I produced it on a weekend. Took me all about 6 hours in total. And I put it out. I had no idea what I was doing. I put it out. And the thing, all of a sudden, the next day that I put it out, I charged $97. And it was $97 one time, or $97 a month if you wanted me to kind of coach you ongoing on how to do these. Like, once a week, I would do a call or something. Everybody took the $97 a month option, and one sale turned to 10 sales. All of a sudden, it started pouring in. And next thing you know, I had $55,000 a month residual coming in.
Wow.
From one weekend worth of this little goofy thing called the reverse short sale.
55 grand a month?
55 grand a month of people that just clicked the little, I'll do $97 a month. Sounds good to me. And I just jumped on a call. Would you jump on a call once a week for $55,000 a month?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're doing it all the time.
I mean, I don't get $97 residual. That's freaking amazing, bro. I might go do, is that still a thing? Can I still go do
I'm sure you can figure it out, Pace. But it's just one of those things where you just think I'm just doing real estate. And all of a sudden you just record your one little weird thing that you do in real estate. Next thing you know, you're selling it and people love it. So whether it's you're an amazing closer, you're an amazing comper, you're an amazing deal finder, whatever that is, it's sellable.
You know what? I got a lot of people in the side comments saying, hey, I got a lot of creative finance questions. I was telling Sperber the other day that he's like, you're crazy, man. You did that 16-hour live, that 25-hour live, that 26-hour live. And I was like, just wait. In 2 weeks, I'm going to do a 30-hour live. Because right now.
Do you just pee in like a.
No, I wear a diaper. I wear a diaper.
I would see you got that kind of level of commitment.
I'm committed, bro. I'm committed.
Does it have like little tubes on, like little hands on it?
Oh yeah, 100%. So I'm going to do a 30-hour live. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make it so intimate because I have all these things in my mind. You ever have things in your mind? You're just like, I want to get them out, whether it's through like email copy or whatever it is.
Well, normally it's my wife's boobs.
Oh yeah.
I think about that a lot.
So I've got 30 hours in my mind of creative finance and what to do specifically right now. I'm going to start out really small, tell stories about how my mom was doing creative finance with her sewing business, and get people to truly understand creative finance in the first hour, maybe 2 hours, ease into it. And then I'm going to do 28 hours of Q&A all around creative finance. I want to make it intimate because I don't want to make it like my last 26-hour live. I had about 1,800 people watch me for 26 hours straight. And I couldn't.
So they're committed just like you're going.
Yeah, they were committed. And what happened is I couldn't get any intimate, like deep level knowledge into people. And I felt like we only got surface level. And so guys, anybody that joins the challenge, here's what I'm gonna do is anybody that joins the challenge, I'm gonna create a very small, intimate group that you guys can be in on my 30-hour challenge all around creative finance. So we can check the box on the creative finance. Who's gonna join this challenge? Thrive255.com.
Boom.
Okay. You don't have to be a student of mine. In fact, a lot of my students will be in the side chat with us, hanging out. You'll get to know a lot of my students in the side chat. Cody's going to give away his, what's your course's name?
Free house formula.
Can we revive the reverse Short
The
sell?
reverse short sale. You guys really want to see
Oh,
those?
bro, I mean,
It's
now
there somewhere. It's probably deactivated, but it's there somewhere.
I
for
mean, you
sure.
got me, and now I'm like super motivated about this. All right, I'm going to do 30 hours. I'll do that. I'll also give Gator training to anybody that signs up as well. There were a lot of people that got locked out. People DM me all the time, like, Pace, you don't know how much I follow your stuff for so many years, and you're amazing. I'm like, dude, what I said is what I said. I have to be the guy that says that. But for this challenge, for you guys to be involved in Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi, Matthew McConaughey,
That's gonna be cool. I'm excited for that.
Alex
That book's
Hormozy,
phenomenal if you haven't read that.
all of these guys, all for free. We all get to hang out together for 5 solid days, fix some mindset stuff, run into the economy, like point our ships towards the storm.
If any of you guys that are in our group get picked for the partner with Dean and Tony, what you didn't realize is that we're also your partners.
Exactly.
Me and Pace are coming in through the side door and partnering with you. It just is going to happen magically.
Yes, it'll be in the agreement. So guys, looking forward to it. We love you. We appreciate you. What we'll do is we'll send out an email to everybody that came into the air meet and let you guys know what the cool extra goodies that we're going to do. Anybody that goes into the challenge, thrive255.com. That's Thrive. The number's 255.com. We will be giving you guys all those goodies and access to all that kind of cool stuff as well. And I might even convince Sperber to start an NFT and go buy a multifamily thing and just give it away. I don't know. You don't think so?
I don't know. I mean,
who knows?
You never know what the future holds.
That's right. All right, guys, we appreciate you so much. Thank you so much.